Let's go. Let's go. We ain't got no time to waste. Let's go. You are now listening to Jason Anderson, and you are in the zone.
You're in the zone with Jason Anderson on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Wood going to back down Damian Williams. Too little. 13 consecutive points for Christian Wood, who's laying the wood on the Suns in a huge way. The lead swelling back up to 12.
You're in the zone on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, a Thursday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you. Josh Brisco, Beards back at the station. We've got you for the next 4 hours heading up until 2 o'clock. A lot of stuff to get into. Jam-packed show today. We'll hang out with Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast at 11 o'clock. Get his thoughts on Chiefs, Bills, put a bow on that, looking ahead to the 49ers, some bigger conversations around this Chiefs team with Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Chiefs press conferences today, coordinators and TBD, play some sports or leisure, giving away $25 to Johnny's Tavern. We've got that going on as well. So a lot of cool stuff going on today for the show. Tonight it is Saints and Cardinals and Thursday Night Football, and over on ESPN KC ALCS game number 2 with the Astros and the Yankees taking on each other there down in Houston. So 913-912-4810 is how the text line, how you can get involved with the show. Send in your thoughts and opinions and things like that. So you can text the show 913-912-4810. 913-912-4810. Very excited today because we are hanging out at a really cool spot. It is Total Performance Golf in Overland Park, and broadcasting live today from here. Everything you need if you're looking for whether it be coaching or trying to just improve your game, whatever you're looking for. John Richmond, who is the founder of Total Performance Golf, is the guy you can work with. He's recognized nationally and regionally by his peers and national golf publications for his programs, and it's all right here at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. You got private coaching available. You got monthly memberships. You can do that. Memberships allow you to come and go as you please and use the facilities and use the all of the different tracking devices, the gym, the simulators at any time of the day. You can check out Total Performance Golf. It's 7320 West 162nd in Overland Park. It's just south of 159th and Metcalf. So 159th go west, Metcalf go east, go south on Metcalf, and then it's right here. So you can find us. So you've got membership specials normally are $300 a month. What they're doing right now, $250 a month for memberships, which again includes 3D lesson app, a monthly online lesson, which is $125 value in of itself. You got the watch list for improvement training when you practice anywhere, anytime that you know that you're swinging correctly because that app is connected with the 3D lessons. You've got prepaid monthly simulator time, data tracking with Foresight, GC Quads, which is a $400 value as well. Anybody that's golfing, has golfed, enjoys golfing, understands some of the things that you can do here to improve your game. You want to just simply learn the game? Great spot to do that. You want to get out there on the course? Maybe you got some business deals. Maybe you just simply want to do it leisurely in your time. You can do that. Maybe it's a couples thing. Brother-in-law and his wife and their kids. They spend Saturdays out on the golf course. That's their thing to do together, and they spend a lot of time doing that. My wife has talked about wanting to pick up golf as well. She's an athlete looking for something that she wants to do competitively, without being in her 20s. I don't want to give her age away. She's like 25 times whatever. Not get injured, just as I would like to not, rupture an Achilles or tear an ACL.
Has she asked to play golf, or has she asked about a foursome? Specifically, just to help
Yes.
you. Okay, very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, actually, she asked about golf, and I said, well, what do you think of a foursome? She said yes, which is the legally binding verbal agreement. So Fine
At
print.
least she asked you to be on the same team, man. That right there, that's a big win.
Fine print, honey. Fine print. But if that's what you are, you're trying to do, just to pick up the game, or if you're pretty good and you want to take your game to the next level, this is the spot for you. Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. And we're going to be doing some giveaways today. How are we going to do these giveaways? What are we going to do today with the giveaways? Because we've got a foursome at Creekmore. We got a foursome at Sycamore Ridge. We got a foursome at Tiffany Greens. We got a twosome at Winterstone. And we've got a couple of $25 gift cards to a Gravity restaurant that we will be giving away. So we are all about foursomes today.
That's right. We're trying to bring people together. I think first of all, they got to be here, right? You got to swing through.
Literally.
Maybe you come and we get some flags for Dylan, like flag football, and you have to try to catch him and just rip a flag off his waistband or something.
Okay.
Maybe you grab a club here and have a little sword fight. I haven't asked if they'd like us to do that. I'm imagining the answer is probably sure. Why not?
All right.
I don't know. We'll figure. Maybe come out here and you beat me at some sort of golf competition, which is basically the same thing as us giving it away.
That's exactly right. Yes.
We have a lot of ways. I think you got to get here and it'll change throughout the day. I'm guessing maybe we get a little more strenuous with the requirements later on after we've perhaps made a few people's days already with one of those awesome giveaways.
Okay, so you're saying the earlier the better in what might be the easier way to win some of these, and also first come, first serve. So if you win something here, then you get your choice of Creekmore, Sycamore Ridge, Tiffany Greens, or just a twosome if you're into that at Winterstone. Whatever you're looking for your golf outing, and some friends, some family, some coworkers, some maybe prospective clients as well.
We might need to clear this again here, but I think maybe you get out here and we see if there's some little challenge for you to compete.
Okay.
And perhaps truly earn one of these excellent.
You know what we could do? We could probably set up something to where there's a green on one of these simulators in some sort of a hole, par 3 hole, to where you can reach it in one, and you get 3 shots. You put it on the green, you get your choice.
I like that.
3 shots, put it on the green.
I think that if nothing else, that's our first line.
Okay.
If we get a little wackier, if I figure out how to get Mario Golf up on one of these simulators at some point, we can get some power-ups and everything.
Right.
We'll see what happens by 2 o'clock. But at least for this, 10 o'clock hour, that seems really reasonable.
You put Tiger Woods 2004 up there.
I'll work on it.
I am a genius, and people actually thought I was going to be a professional gamer based on that game only.
Based on Mario Golf, I thought I was going to be a professional golfer.
See, same thing. Yeah. You know exactly when I stopped playing video games, because all of my games go right until 2004, and that's when it ends. And that's when I decided, you know what? Way too much of my life is being involved in video games, and I either quit it cold turkey or I change my profession and I go into gaming, because I can't have it both ways, because I'm getting frustrated. I'm playing seasons. I'm trying to get my guys 200 yards receiving in every single game for some reason. Like, oh, well, and oh, by the way, I might have a test tomorrow, but who's going to study for that when I've got one more game to play to finish out this season? Oh, wait, the playoffs start. I can't wait for.
I'm going to be out of rhythm. So, I understand you a little better.
I decided that
2 minutes explain a lot.
It's probably the end.
Okay.
18 years ago.
You
have not played a video game since.
You kind of Elwayed it in terms of when you left the video game sphere, because you've got Tiger Woods. Madden 04 was a real achievement. Backyard Baseball 2003. I mean, who could forget how excellent that was?
NCAA college football was still going on.
I mean, seriously, for you really were in a sports game golden age. And you said I'm going to go ahead and retire on the top. I think that's respectable.
Said, you know what? It's one of 2 things here.
It is either video games or the rest of my entire life.
It's having a son, maybe getting married, or video games. So it's one of the 2 things. I don't know that I could, or like Kyler Murray maybe should have gone down. Maybe he goes down the same path. The
200-yard receiver every game kind of thing is something that I legit, multiple receivers going over 200 yards every game is the type of thing that I think we could actually just have an off-air conversation about for like an hour, because there's a sickness in that I understood immediately.
Yep.
And I don't like it, but I understood it immediately. Well, if it's not, you are a completionist, and being a completionist playing video games is a totally different experience than just like, I like Animal Crossing. Video game completionism is a scary thing.
That's interesting, because I never really liked playing games that had different levels, and you would try to win the game overall, and it was weeks to go by, and you had to, and then, you died and have to go back to the beginning or whatever. Those were never really my jam. It was more of the sports, and I would win the game.
Right.
I would win against this team, and then I could move on.
But then you had to win it more. You had to win it more decisively, more dominantly, because you found your genre being sports games. Then you beat them so much that it was like, well, I guess I should figure out a way to make. You basically invented style points, which is sort of the core conceit of NFL Street. And this is a real big bonding moment for us in our sicknesses, I think.
I've and many of the people my generation would be surprised by this. I never played Zelda one time.
Wow.
Not one time did I ever play a game of Zelda, even if it might have been with friends. Like they're playing Zelda, I'm going somewhere else. I'm doing, oh, you guys are playing Zelda? I'll do something else, which is probably a surprise. But that's also why I'm not doing gaming now, where you guys have all of these amazing games.
Technology is ridiculous.
I mean, it's unbelievable, the graphics on these games, and it's just never been something that I ever got into. I just you
let go, and it never came floating back.
Contra is really the only game I played that it was like you beat the game, and that was only because I got 99 lives with the code on the Nintendo.
Of course. Veers, what perked your ears up there? I hear your mic on.
Oh, I was going to say, meanwhile, my wife grew up playing Zelda, and that's her favorite.
Absolutely.
I have a dangerous question.
She is also the type that is like, I have to 100% everything because that's the way she grew up the games. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do whatever I want to. I'm going to leave some stuff for next time I play it. And, I'll do what I want.
I think that helps you and I have a healthier relationship with video games than some people, Beards, because I'm with you on that front. Here's a dangerous question that I hope that if you don't know the answer to this, it doesn't make your wife mad at you. But do you know how many like Zelda-inspired tattoos she has? Because I know the number is over. I've seen at least 3, and that's counting one of them as like a leg sleeve.
Wow.
Yeah. If they're counting the leg sleeve of one, it's probably about 4 or 5.
Like 4 or 5 like Zelda-based tattoo
actually.
Concepts.
Yes. Individual ones.
We just I will say on this front, this show covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
we cover a lot of different regions of life in general.
One of the
as
things,
3 straight white guys.
And I definitely want to get into some sport. And this is obviously sports because we've talked Tiger Woods, we've talked football, we've talked 200-yard receivers, which leads right into Odell Beckham Jr.
Absolutely. Let's talk about OBJ.
All these things we can get into, but sort of the psychology behind it. I wonder, is your wife a binge watcher when it comes to TV shows, or is she no problem taking it week by week?
I think she prefers binging, but she can do whatever. Like we were watching Rings of Power together, and she was fine with that. And that's a week to week thing.
I wonder if that, like your wife talked when you said she's got to finish it, and I'm the same way. Just as House of the Dragon, I haven't started yet because now I'm so far into it. I'm just going to binge the whole season because waiting week by week. Whereas Beard, you said, oh, I'll stop and I'll leave some stuff for tomorrow and leave some stuff for the next day. Might be, oh, cool episode, I'll wait a week. Whereas cool episode, I'm pressing play for the next one because that was a cool episode.
If it's TV, I'm hitting play on the next one. That's like no doubt.
But I mean, but I'm waiting to even press play on the first one so that it allows me to press play on the second and third and fourth and fifth.
That being said, I still haven't finished The Expanse. I'm stuck in season 4, and that's been like a year and a half.
I love that show.
It was really good. I just haven't finished it yet.
You know what I did with that show? Binge watched.
That makes sense. The only thing I like to do in binge form is drinking.
So there's a lot of binge talking about Odell Beckham Jr.
I do love a good binge talk as well, I suppose.
A lot of binge talking going on. Here's my question with that. And again, as the show lines up, as we told you, Ken Swanson, Chiefs press conferences, sports or leisure.
I love this question.
Why are we talking about Odell Beckham Jr.? And I say why while we talk about him,
yes,
right?
Yes,
because I'm really wanting to talk about the sort of why and then the point I want to make with the question about why are we talking about him? Is it only because of the Kelsey restructured contract and then Kelsey if Travis Kelsey didn't have a podcast and Jason Kelsey didn't say Odell Beckham Jr. and Travis Kelsey didn't go 1, 2, in the licks to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop, and then how excited he was, and boy, I'd love that rumor to come true. Would we actually be discussing it to the point that people are talking about Odell Beckham Jr.? What would he look like in the in a Chiefs uniform? How does he impact the offense if he's on that? Ooh, look at his Twitter account. He had 15 different emojis responding to Terrell Owens asking him if he's going to be a Bill or a Chief, which obviously, as you decipher that, it means that I'm thinking about the Bills, but ultimately I'll sign with the Chiefs, but my lips are sealed and I'm strong in my commitment of not telling anybody anything. Also, what's up to you?
I think it was Des Bryant.
That's right. It was Des Bryant. My fault.
Listen,
it absolutely was Des Bryant.
Their Venn diagram overlaps quite a bit, but it was Des Bryant because Beards and I had a specific conversation about Des Bryant having an NFT profile picture makes sense.
Des Bryant, a good player. T.O., the third greatest receiver that ever lived. So they're not the same. So so Des Bryant, not T.O.
The cowboy generational receiver,
That's
big body guy.
There you know,
I just, if they were both in NFL Street, I bet that their T.O. stats would be better, but I'd be happy to have them both on the
first
roster.
and goal from the two, back shoulder to either T.O. or Des Bryant from Tony Romo. It was a touchdown.
Either way,
You're
it's
right.
a score. So I'm not trying to beat you with a golf club over that one. I think I know the answer as to why we're talking about Odell Beckham to the Chiefs. And it's because it sounds fun and we want to. And I know that is a gross simplification, but the other thing is that we see a problem and tell me one other realistic solution from the outside. I don't know that there is one. If you're talking about bringing in defensive line help, it's right. We're talking about Brian Burns. I think tell you what, I think there's a better chance the Chiefs sign OBJ than they do trade for Brian Burns.
I agree with that.
And we're talking about Brian Burns because they need edge help. What could they do? Maybe it's him. I'm saying, hey, what they could do? They could go call Ndamukong Suh. He could bring a little pass rush juice in the middle of that defensive line. He's still a free agent. Those are also names we know. Everybody knows OBJ. He's a free agent receiver who's basically going on a recruiting trip right now. I just think there is one shiny free agent still out there, and it's mid-October, and the Chiefs have a little bit of a void to potentially fill there. And boy, he's just a bright, shiny thing to talk about. I think that's where I see most people coming from.
I mean, I agree with that. I think all of those things are correct. What I wonder is, when we're talking about that, has anybody actually looked at the timeline of where we are now versus his previous ACL injury?
Yeah.
And what it took to come back from the first one, let alone the second one. If people have not seen that, October 25th of 2022, he tears his ACL, oddly enough, tackling somebody on a Baker Mayfield interception. He tears his ACL on October 25th, 2022. Or 2020, sorry, October 25th, 2020. He's still with the Browns the next year. And the first game that he plays is September 26th, 2021. He missed the first couple of games of that next year with the same team, not getting acclimated with his teammates, not all. He was still coming back from the injury. And there was talk of, well, he's going to play in the preseason. No, he didn't. He's going to be ready for week 1. No, he wasn't. He'll be good to go week 2. No, he wasn't. Week 3, then he played. Almost 11 months to the day that he tore his ACL. He tore his ACL on February 13th. 11 months from February 13th would be the first round of the wild card.
That's right. January
14th is the Saturday of the wild card round. That was him returning from his first ACL. Not then, oh, by the way, now you have another ACL injury that you have to come back from. Also, is he going to be on a different team? Whereas that team he was on, same players, same teammates, same coaches, all of that stuff, not really an acclimation process to get used to teammates and all of that stuff and getting used to an offense. And it took 11 months to get back into playing. How long would it take for him to be on the Bills or the Chiefs to then play and then also be somebody that could actually make an impact because they know the offense and you're using them specific ways on the field? That's just my, I get it. Odell Beckham Jr., it's a name and it excites you because how do they beat man-to-man? Yep. I know how they beat man-to-man. It's Odell Beckham Jr. Not if he's still on crutches.
That's right.
They're not going to beat man-to-man with Odell Beckham Jr. I think, one, I don't think they're going to sign him. Two, I think he makes less of an impact than Josh Gordon, because at least Josh Gordon was on the field. And I don't know how soon Odell Beckham, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's out there December 1st and he's playing the last month and then he's amazing in the playoffs. I'll see it when I believe it.
That's right. There have been a couple of reports that have gone out about post Thanksgiving, and to your math, I mean, even that is extremely generous. And the Chiefs really need help for Buffalo in January. You can make the case the Chiefs could play B+ games all the way until they see the Bills, and maybe they end up still making it all the way to that AFC Championship game. But all of that is still under the umbrella of, is this a terribly realistic proposition that's being made from any direction? And as of right now, no, I don't think it is. I think the fit makes sense. I think the need is there and the name is big. We have all of that. I don't know that it's soon enough or enough for this to ultimately end up moving the needle anywhere until late this year. If his recovery is ahead of schedule, I do think it changes up a little bit. I do think he'd be more impactful than Josh Gordon or many other late year free agency acquisitions you make. But, I mean, we got pretty hyped up about Terrell Suggs for a little while. Yeah. And then that was kind of the last time we really talked about him because free agency is fun. Names you've heard of joining your team is always neat. We did it for Le'Veon Bell and LaShawn McCoy, and we've done it for all these different guys. I think OBJ is a better player when healthy than any of those guys I've mentioned were at that stage in their career. I kind of wanted the Chiefs to go kick the tires on Deshaun Jackson this time. He's a Raven now. I was kind of curious. I can't help that curiosity. I can't help tamp down the expectations for all the reasons you laid out.
If they sign him, it means that Brett Veach, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, those guys actually believe he's going to make a difference. Actually believe absolutely. He will help.
Sure.
It also shows that they don't have a total 100% belief in that they have all the answers right now in-house.
Yeah.
So Josh Gordon last year was, he's going to help us do this, 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 and this. He didn't. But it showed that they felt like they were missing things on that offense.
Super low risk, that one too. Straight to the practice squad, all that, no money.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. How much is Odell Beckham Jr. going to ask for?
More.
That's right. But I simply don't know what would be the case with that. So we can talk a little bit more about this. I do wonder where the real improvement from the team would be if there is an addition, right? If there is somebody that they bring in, is there another position that would be more of an improvement, more needy for an improvement on this team? We can get into that as well. And also just looking at the 49ers this weekend and then the bye and coming off the loss to the Bills for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and what he's done in his career in September. And then also looking ahead to then, November is going to be the next game they play after this week. If they're able to get by this week, what historically with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid does that say about the rest of the season? We're getting to that as well. Again, Kent Swanson, Chiefs Press Conferences, Sports or Leisure, all still to come right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We are hanging out at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. Come check us out, 7320 West 162nd Street in Overland Park, just off 159th and Metcalf is our location. We are giving away a foursome at Creekmore, foursome at Sycamore Ridge, foursome at Tiffany Greens, twosome at Winterstone, and two different $25 gift cards at Gravity Restaurant, and also some monthly membership specials as well coming down and seeing us today. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. More Zone next.
Want to see more of The Zone? Watch the show live on the Sports Radio 810 WHB Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. The Zone with Jason Anderson.
This is this guy. It's a rough luck with the mouth.
Weekdays from 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Josh Brisco and Beards. We are hanging out at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. Fantastic spot, really cool place here because they've got the private coaching, they've got the gym, the simulators that you can use any time of the day when you've got the membership, the monthly membership, which they have a special going on right now. And we are hanging out here until 2 o'clock. The address is 7320 West 162nd Street in Overland Park. It is just south of 159th and Metcalf is where we are at. And you come in, you work with John Richmond, the founder of Total Performance Golf. And look, somebody who's nationally recognized regionally as well by his peers, national golf publications for these programs that he has here at Total Performance Golf. And so if you're starting, if you're wanting to improve, if you're looking for something, family wise, either way, lessons, improve your game. They've got the 3D lesson app along with a monthly membership, a monthly online lesson, which is $125 value anyway, with watch lists for improvement and training when you're practicing anywhere, anytime that you know that you're swinging correctly. They've got the prepaid monthly simulator time, data tracking. They got the foresight with the GC quads as well, and access to all the swinging and training aids while at the facility as well, and the gym access for improved, mechanics and speed work and things like that. So they've got member-only events that go along with your monthly membership. So there are a lot of perks to be a part of a membership to Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. So it's a cool spot.
Obviously, if you're pretty good at golf and want to get really good at golf, this is the place to be to really fine-tune your game. But I will tell you this, as somebody who has literally, not a joke from the first segment, played golf video games and enjoyed them very much, but have absolutely no functioning golf swing to speak of.
I've seen you swing.
You have. This is the place that I would want to be to try to actually get my feet under me, because you have a horrible shot here. You can, reload and get the ball back in front of you and try again. It does not appeal to me, the idea of being bad at golf, on the out on grass, just chunking one into some water somewhere. That's bad for me, and it's even worse for the people around me. Here, I think I could actually work on my game a little bit and become the golf guy that I've been destined to become.
All I wanted to do when I started learning golf, when I was teaching myself how to play golf when I was in my 20s, was I just want to be good enough to hang out with friends, to not embarrass myself, to get the ball in the air, get it close to where I'm trying to get it to. And can I shoot somewhere in the 90s and not feel like I'm totally embarrassed by, just being out there, or people that I may not know? Or the worst is when you're on the tee and another group comes behind you and they're waiting and watching, and you're up and you're like, everybody's looking at you. I don't do well when everybody's looking at me or listening to me. I hate that.
Right, of course. That's been a big problem for you for a long time. You hate the spotlight.
Wait a minute, we're on.
I'll take it from here, everybody. Total Performance Golf. This is why you come. I'm gonna put a sheet over Jason's head like a parrot at night, so he thinks it's nighttime and forgets that we're on video streaming.
And so that's always nervous, but this is an awesome spot to be. Also, if you come down here while we're here, we're going to be giving away a foursome at Creekmore, a foursome at Sycamore Ridge, a foursome at Tiffany Greens, twosome at Winterstone, and two different $25 gift cards to Gravity Restaurant. But you got to be here in person to win these things. And one of the things that we're going to do in your choice of, first come, first serve, if you win, you get your choice of these, 5 different prizes that I think we may set up to where there could be a green on a par 3 and you get, 3, 5, I don't care, shots to see if you can get it on the green. Not a closest to the pin wins one, just, you get it on the green. I don't know. You get it near the
get here and swing a club, and you're gonna have a good chance. But you gotta have a club in your hands at some point, and you gotta come say hi out here at Total Performance Golf.
Here's the thing: if your 3 swings do not get it on the green, then maybe Josh will take a swing, and if your shot is better than his shot, then maybe you win.
If you come here and in 3 shots you can't get it onto a green on a par 3, you get the restaurant gift cards. You get to go to Gravity, which will be great.
You get to hang out with Josh.
You get to hang out with me.
He'll take you to the restaurant.
But it just must be this tall to ride on the Creekmore, Sycamore Ridge, Tiffany Greens, Winterstone.
That is true as well. 913-912-4810. So man-to-man defense, Odell Beckham Jr. kind of ties in previous segment to what I want to talk about here, and that is listening to Jesse Newell this morning on the Border Patrol. And one of the things that he wrote about at the Kansas City Star and talked about this morning about, part of his, assessment of, all right, man-to-man defense, are the Chiefs not beating man-to-man defense and the Buffalo Bills. And that was the problem, is that they didn't have a Tyreek Hill. They didn't have somebody to do the things that can go up against and just win against your man, win one-on-one. If they're going to be doubling Travis Kelce and say everybody else is going to be manned up because we don't believe you can win in those matchups, great, we'll do that. But one of the things that he talked about was, okay, so how much is this a recency bias conversation around the quote unquote man-to-man defense? And he said, just last week against the Raiders, the Chiefs had the highest expected points added versus man-to-man of any game in the NFL this year. Not just any Chiefs game, any game in the NFL this year, the Chiefs against the Raiders had the highest expected points added against man-to-man. Next week against Buffalo, they only scored 20 points. Got to go get Odell Beckham Jr., go get somebody, because you got to beat man-to-man. It's an issue for this team, and this is what happens with Tyreek Hill. And it is not a specific like Tyreek Hill conversation that we had from Arizona to then the Chargers to then the Colts, and then after that the Bucks that we discussed. I think it was after the Bucks game that we said, okay, can we stop with the one-game referendums on,
yes,
is this what it looks like with and without Tyreek Hill? That is not the conversation this week of the see what happens, you can't beat man-to-man. But it feels like it is a pendulum swinging of, against the Raiders, Patrick Mahomes goes to the sideline and tells his offensive line, they're playing man-to-man. Give me time and we will torch this team. They gave him time and they did. And they came all the way back from 17-0 and they won the game because they were torching man-to-man defense. Against the Bills, well, they were running a lot of man-to-man, and you only scored 20 points. Therefore, that's the issue. And it just feels like a week-by-week thing. What's the issue with the Chiefs' bigger picture? I don't know. What's the most recent game that we watched? And that's what I'll tell you is the biggest issue with the Chiefs.
I think that is good perspective to keep, because there has to be a way that we can say, like, hey, the Bills ran twice as much man as they usually do against the Chiefs and had some success. And not also, oh my God, it's all over. It's God, Patrick Mahomes is going to demand a trade by the deadline. Like, because to find different ways. What did I say? Did I say something? Did I get marked?
Mahomes is going to demand a trade.
No, it was a joke, everybody. I was overreacting on purpose. Nobody get alarmed. Put the sheet back over the birdcage. I think that there's the way to look at, what are teams doing? I always think, though, we love to grasp at the. Let's go back to talking about a wide receiver named Odell Beckham Jr. in the first segment. We always, by we I mean anyone who watches sports, we always want to leap for the one fix.
Yeah.
If there's one thing, one button you can hit that's going to make your offense better, that's going to fix your defense, it's going to make your quarterback look better, everyone's going to fire the defensive coordinator, sign the big name free agent, draft that one position, etc. Just really make man-to-man the bad guy. And so I think that is very good perspective to keep in mind, that ultimately the way to beat the Chiefs is not going to be by copying another team's notes. Last year, the two-man shell, the cover two shells and all of that became honestly an overblown talking point, because after it bothered them for a few weeks, but after a few weeks, the Chiefs were good at it again. This is probably the latest iteration of that, but to Jesse's point and to your kind of big picture zoomed out look, we do not have to decide the fate of the Chiefs on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it is an issue that they shouldn't address, and I'm not saying that they've got the best man-to-man wide receivers in the league, that they're just going to be torching anybody that thinks about going man-to-man. Good luck. Yes, Tyreek Hill was amazing. Remember the Bucks game, regular season a couple of years ago before the Super Bowl, and it was, what are the Bucks doing? They manned up Tyreek Hill in the first quarter. He had 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter against man. You're dumb. Don't ever do that again. So yeah, we've had those conversations. We know what that looks like when it's somebody that is, you literally cannot guard him man to man. That is a difference than what the Chiefs have, but it is not a literally, and we like using the word literally. It is not a figuratively that every time you're out there against man-to-man, the Chiefs cannot move the football.
Right.
It's not the boogeyman of the too high and the shell and now the boogeyman is man-to-man. And
it's
and
what the
like
Bills did, and for the Bills, it worked.
Right.
That's probably all it is right now, though. It's not a pattern yet. It's not a blueprint after one game.
And did it work when, MVS caught the touchdown? but Creed Humphrey, just faded and just sort of, took a few steps too far. That was a touchdown. They're up 7-0, but that didn't happen. There are so many plays. Did it work when Mahomes barely missed Michael Burton? That the all 22, you pull your hair out because I think that might have been a touchdown.
It was definitely a lot. He had blockers in space, man. What else did you ask for?
He had two guys in front of him, two blockers, and then Creed Humphrey just so he would have a friend to run along the field with him, just so he doesn't get lonely while running towards the end zone, that he could high five him while he's running down the field. I think that's a touchdown.
Yep.
But it wasn't, and they didn't score, or they got a field goal on that drive, and they go up 20-17. It could have been 24-17. So the execution and the mistakes that come along the way can also sort of shape the conversation we have about what the bigger issues and the problems are for this Chiefs team. Reality is they still have Patrick Mahomes, they still have Andy Reid, they still have Travis Kelce, they still have I think a good offensive line in today's NFL. It is not executing at the level that it should be with the investments they have and sort of the reputation that preceded them from this year. I still don't think they're executing at that level. And they have good wide receivers that are experienced in the NFL. That Juju has had big seasons. MVS is a guy that, we saw had a 90-yard game a couple of weeks ago, didn't have that against the Bills on Sunday. Like, they've got capable players, a very capable quarterback, and an offensive mind, and, coordinators with the Bieniemy and Andy Reid, designing the offense. Some things have to improve. Absolutely. They have to improve. Maybe that's just simply the running game. I don't know. Maybe it's the correlation between what they did the running game early on against the Bucs and all the points they put up against them and how easy the passing game looked. And the inverse of what it looked like against the Bills, where they couldn't get anything going on the ground, especially early in downs, which set up 3rd and 7, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9s, which you're not going to convert those 3 or 4 times on a drive. It's just not. Even the Chiefs are not going to have 4 different 3rd and 7s and longers on one drive and convert them all for a touchdown. If they do, it's going to be rare. They can do it one or two times, but they're not going to do it 4 times. And I think the opening drive, there was a 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 7, and they threw the interception on 3rd and 9. They converted 2 of them, 2 of 3. 66% is pretty good on 3rd and longs.
Yeah.
Problem is, don't get in 3rd and longs.
Right.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back hanging out at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. More Zone next. Are we in break?
We're probably in break.
I think we're in break.
Beards, we're probably in break, right?
whole Sports Center was.
You're in the zone with Jason Anderson.
All right, welcome back, Anderson in the Zone. It's ESPN. It's Sports Radio 810 WHB.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Total Performance Golf is our location in Overland Park today. Total Performance Golf, everything you need right here in the facility. You work with John Richmond, the founder of Total Performance Golf, and he's been recognized nationally and regionally by his peers and national golf publications for the programs that he has. They are a top 100 ping fitting, apparently. How about that? Need some fitting grips with the ping that you have. How about here? Top 100 that they are. Membership specials going on. By the way, only 50 memberships available at the price point of $250 when it's typically $300. And you're getting so much with that membership because you also have access to the gym that's here. So it's a gym membership along with being this membership to where you can work with the simulators and all the different programs that they have and the apps and the tracking data. The swing training aids and the ability for you to go and practice on your own and still be able to track your swing and make sure that things are going the right way. It is here at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park, and we're giving away a foursome at Creekmore, foursome at Sycamore Ridge, foursome at Tiffany Greens, twosome at Winterstone, and then 2 different $25 gift cards to Gravity Restaurant while we're here until 2 o'clock.
Cool spot. Saw Dylan over there trying to, find the club that really fit kind of his whole aesthetic. Really, at some point, I think I might just hold one over my shoulder just for the rest of the show, just to kind of get used to, the feeling of it and just feel cooler about myself, because that's what I'm getting from Dylan right now. You look cool when you're looking at a golf club.
Yeah.
It's just true.
But sort of the holding the golf club is different when you say holding it over the shoulder, because you held that sort of like a baseball bat as if you're on deck.
That's what I'm thinking.
Whereas if you've got the club, you have it lengthwise to the right or left of your leg, and you're kind of just leaning a little bit with one of your legs swung over the other, where you're balancing on one foot, one leg swung over the other, and you're kind of leaning half-heartedly on the club there. Different than holding the baseball bat. So you're saying that
when I pick up the ball, toss it into the air, and try to hit it like I'm tossing a baseball to myself, but that's wrong.
No, that's absolutely right.
Oh, good. Okay. I am just not very good at golf.
I'm just saying before you do that, as if you're getting ready to be the next person in line to toss the ball in the air and swing with your golf club.
Almost kind of a Johnny Walker kind of thing there. Right. Not quite the same, but I know what you're getting at. Yeah, that sounds like you got to have a good leisurely stance.
Yeah,
that's important. An important part of the golf experience.
You look like you can play golf. That's
exactly.
Really, you dress up, you got the knickers like Payne Stewart, you got all of that stuff. Like, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. You get out there and you don't actually hit the ball. Nobody cares because you look good when you're doing it. And I've always heard that if you look good, you feel good, you play good.
What happens when you play good? You pay good.
I forgot the last part.
You could probably make it go forever. That's basically the pun name game, just in a saying form.
Neon Dion. Prime time as well. So, our location today, Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. We're going to talk with Kent Swanson coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. Next segment, we'll hear from the Chiefs. We'll hear from Dave Tobe, Eric Bieniemy, Steve Spagnuolo, and players. And then also sports or leisure coming up later on in the show, the 1 o'clock hour, that we will play some sports or leisure. And even though we're going to hear from the coordinators today, there's still some clips that I want to play from yesterday that we didn't get a chance to really break down and get into because we were at Big 12 basketball media days and talking with Bill Self and Jerome Tang. But a few of the things that Patrick Mahomes said, a couple of things that Andy Reid said that I think are interesting as they move into this game against the 49ers and on into the bye week. But Patrick Mahomes talking about what he was doing in the pocket, or retention and remembering things and recognizing looks and the spying that's going on with the different defenses, and hearing his assessment of what he did against the Bills after watching film. And, Cliff Notes version of him saying, we've done a pretty good job of recognizing the looks and working through the progressions. Not so good this last game against the Bills, but it's something I got to get better at and improve on because of how I did against the Bills. It's totally anecdotal, but I feel like in the past when we've heard Patrick Mahomes say, I've got to do a better job in the pocket with my feet, he comes out and just torches teams because he does just that. Anecdotal.
The Niners are a good test for that.
Absolutely.
That's a real defense. Banged up. But
total anecdotal. I just feel like when he has that more in his mind, watch out. Only if they had Odell Beckham Jr., though.
The Zone with Jason Anderson.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to progressively make this show a little more unlistenable every day, which is a pretty tall task.
Weekdays from 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
We're hanging out at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park today until 2 o'clock. We got some cool giveaways going on and some specials with the monthly membership here. There's so much here that can make you a better golfer, or just teach you even how to swing so you can go out and play a little golf as well. But fascinating, even in a couple of minutes, talking with John Richmond, who's the founder of Total Performance Golf here and nationally, regionally recognized by his peers and national golf publications for these programs, and just the things that he's talking about and how you can take advantage of all of these different programs here, the simulators, the gym, but also sort of taking that coach with you, the 3D lesson app that's there as part of being a monthly, membership here, that they got the watch list, improvement and training when you're practice anywhere, anytime, that you're swinging correctly. So, you've got a coach with you at all times. Little man is, playing baseball, and it's a very skilled sport. So he's still learning how to swing the correct way, and he's got a lot of steps to take before he gets there, because he's 6. He's not there yet. He's trying to get that Juan Soto. He's not doing the Soto shuffle yet, but he's trying to get there. He's about 20 years away maybe of a lot of swings at doing that. But I say that because every once in a while he'll go out and just hit off the tee into the net in the backyard on his own. Well, I promise you, when he's doing that, it's not the same as me sitting next to him going, "Hey buddy, no. Your hands back, dude. Your hands were coming forward. Hey, get the foot down as you're turning the foot down, hips, like you're a little late there. Where's your belly button needs to be pointing towards, like those little things." He'll just go out there and just swing hard.
Right.
Swing hard and hit it hard, right? But this is interesting because you've got that app with you, the 3D app that is helping you remember, oh wait, I'm offline a little bit on what my swing is. Therefore, as I'm out here on the range and I'm trying to, fix some things or work on some things, I've got a coach right here.
Well, one thing, talking to John during the break, he makes the point that, like, hey, when people come here, it's an emergency. It's, hey, fix my swing. Well, if he's never seen what your swing looked like when you went out and had a great day, that's a lot harder for you guys to kind of figure out what you're building from, I guess. And I don't want to give Kent Swanson too much hope.
Okay.
But I have offered at some point to go over and see if John can just take the Barkley hitch out of my swing and just give me a chance to let Kent beat me at golf someday.
Is that going to happen anytime soon, Kent?
I have been trying to get Joshua Brisco out on a golf course for about 2 years now. There is nothing I want more than to just spend 5 hours with Brisco golfing.
Wow, that's what you want. Nothing more.
Nothing more in his life. Nothing more.
Is that the answer? Sorry, go ahead, Kent.
Do you realize how much fun that would be to get? Hey, Jason, here's what we're gonna do. You, me, Beard, Brisco,
done.
Golf course,
done.
I don't know what shenanigans we will get into, but shenanigans will be gotten into with Joshua Brisco on a golf course. That's an ideal setting to just let him run wild.
Like a mini golf course?
No, absolutely. No, see, exactly. We want a full golf course. We want him having to take swings. I'm here just to see what he would wear to a golf course. What does he show up in?
I think he would have to show up in the full garb. Like,
yeah,
you got to do that.
Yeah, I would invest before that for sure. I would like to borrow some clubs, but I'll buy my own. It's
going to be July, but he'll still show up with the high socks, the knickers. He'll have a tie on, and he'll have a nice little sweater over that.
Yes,
with sort of like hat, with sort of like the Kango pom pom type hat there as well. He'll show up in full garb. He's going to be terrible, but he's going to look the part.
It's going to be like. Yeah, he'll class it up, but like the undershirt would be like, a shirt with just a bunch of little Mai Tais on it. Like
that is true.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that is true. There's only two ways it goes. He fully dresses like he's a 1930s golfer.
Yes.
Or he dresses as if he just came from like maybe a rave or just like went out to casual brunch with some friends.
This is the entire ethos of the Macklemore golf brand. I think it's called Bad Birdie or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Birdie Boy. I don't remember what it is. I'll figure it out. But like it is an entire sort of bringing together of, Macklemore from the song Thrift Shop, to like golf aesthetics. So yeah, I'm either going to look like I've walked out of the out of Europe in the 1920s, or like I've walked out of a Macklemore music video.
Typically, when I think of golf brands for clothing, I think of Macklemore.
It's a very strange one. I've been obsessed with this because it just seems very odd to me. But he got very into golf, and there you go. Bill Murray has a golf apparel line. All right, I'm in. I'm ready to go. Can't you name the time and place?
I have there's three scenarios. You're either dressing up as Payne Stewart, you're either dressing up as Rodney Dangerfield from Caddyshack, or you are just finding the most gaudy patterns you possibly can. And they're out there. They're beautiful. I actually have a couple. I'll resemble you slightly if we do this. But like I have to see Joshua Brisco out on a golf course.
Yeah, you saying you want nothing more in life than to spend 5 hours with Joshua Brisco on a golf course is the answer to what do you get somebody who has everything? Ken has everything. What could you possibly get him? I know. 5 hours with Brisco on a golf course. There it is. And now his life is complete.
Ken's life is pretty good.
There you go. Kent Swanson is our guest. Let's get this out of the way first of all, Kent, and we can move on. Will the Chiefs be complete with Odell Beckham Jr., or is this sort of just a sports radio, fans, message board, Reddit conversation to have week to week in the middle of a 18-week season?
I don't know about complete, but he helps. I mean, and I think if they get an Odell Beckham, they're going to get him involved well. You know, like I know there's a lot of talk about, hey, Andy Reid's really hard to get integrated into offenses. And, you know, they tried to throw some guys in midseason like Josh Gordon, but this is an actually talented player that's kind of not, behind his prime. Like he's still got plenty of football left. I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't know if it makes him complete as a football team because, like, I'm more interested in a pass rusher than a receiver. Mm-hmm. But if you tell me the Chiefs add Odell Beckham, they're better. They're a better football team. I think he'd actually make a tangible impact on this offense. And honestly, like, I think they think they need it.
Yeah. So I want to get into a lot of other things. So I just wanted to address that first, get your thoughts on that, go on record and see what you think of those things. But let's start with this reaction to the game against the Bills. And maybe is there an overriding takeaway that you had from watching that game, 24-20 loss to the Bills?
I don't know if I have any like big sweeping, opinions, just giant opinions about that game. Like that was the two best teams in the AFC, two best teams in the National Football League potentially going up against each other. It was really close. The Chiefs made some mistakes that I don't think are going to be things that they consistently, do. Like, I mean, I don't think Mahomes is throwing 2 interceptions very often. I think having, the secondary, like not having cornerback 5 out there, like makes some difference. Like the Chiefs are close. They're right there with the Bills. I think you're going to get a better performance from the Chiefs the next time that these two teams play. I think there's a lot of growing pains still happening with this team because of just some of the newness. And, I didn't come away discouraged at all. It's just a matter of, hey, can this team get to the ceiling that they have? I think by the end of the season, they probably do.
Is there something real and not just rose-colored glasses or Chiefs-colored glasses, homerism, spin it, everything in a positive way, that, if you say, look, Mahomes is going to throw a couple of interceptions, one of those in the end zone, they're going to score 20 points. Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs are going to burn cornerbacks down the sideline, and Singletary is going to average 6 yards per carry, and you lose by 4. If you'd have said those things before the game, what would the margin of defeat have been? Because I would have thought it would have been that matched the Sunday Night Football of a year ago. But that's not the case. So is it Chiefs-colored glasses or homerism to spin it and go, the Chiefs didn't play well. It's not like the Bills played their perfect game. I think they probably feel like they may have played a B- game. But coming away from that, not all that scared of the Bills, as if it's like you'd better play your A game or you're not beating them, the way that a lot of teams view the Chiefs and their matchups with them. Somehow I came away from that game in a loss going, kind of feel better about the Chiefs-Bills matchup if they do that in the playoffs.
100%. And I think, the Bills are a very, very good football team, and we've seen them flex their ceiling a couple times. This season. They beat the brakes off a couple teams. That's not traditionally the Chiefs' MO. They kind of let teams hang around a little bit. Andy Reid kind of does put takes the foot off the gas a little bit with his play calling a little bit and all that stuff. I'm not terrified of the Bills. Like, I still think the Bills' ceiling is probably higher than the Chiefs.
I agree.
It's close. It's close. I think it's close. Like, they've got a lot of talent spread across, that entire football team. They're going to get Tre'Davious White back. But I think the Chiefs badly missed, a Trent McDuffie, a Willie Gay, a Rashad Fenton. Like, I think those guys make a tangible impact on how that game is played. And, I think the Chiefs need to pass rush. Like, they need to get the pass rush better. It needs to either improve by January or they need to add. But outside of that, like, I don't have any, concerns about this team competing most likely in Buffalo in January whenever these two teams line up again.
And to say that coming out of the matchup is not to say, oh, I'm fine. Next time they match up, they're going to win. Like, that's not the case at all. It's just going into that game, I thought the Bills would win. And the Bills, to me, are the first team in a while. And I don't know the last time, but they're the first team in a while that I've looked at the Chiefs and their opponent and said, if their opponent plays an A game, I don't think the Chiefs A game beats that team. And I do feel that way against the Bills because I don't think they played their A game. I don't think the Chiefs played their A game either. So it's not to say, oh, I feel fine about the matchup now that the Chiefs, if they play their A game, it's all about them and they'll beat that team. No, I think everybody else in the NFL, if the Chiefs played their high-level game, they will beat 30 other teams. But the Bills are the one team that, for I don't know the last time that I thought, no, if the Bills played their game, the Chiefs aren't beating them.
Yeah, I'm locked up with you. And like they've got some. They're more explosive than the Chiefs are right now. Yes. Like that's inarguable. And they've got the ability to put points on the board quickly. I think they tried to manage that game a little bit. They had a game plan that they're trying to adhere to. They're trying to get those long sustained drives and feel like they're taking tons of shot plays. But when you got them into those like situational football kind of moments where, like the end of the half scenario, it didn't take long for them to drive down the field and just say, hey, we're going to kind of we're not playing our game plan. We're kind of playing situational football here. When that happened, things got a little ugly for the Chiefs there, and they gave up a big touchdown late in the first half. So it'll be interesting to see what the Bills have in the clip if these two teams do wind up playing, Jeremy, because like that explosive potential is what kind of terrifies me about them.
Yeah, are you okay? I've heard some commentary over the week, and we haven't even really talked about it on the show because there's so many different things to discuss. But were you okay with the timeout, Andy Reid, before the half? And wanting to get the ball back, because I've heard a lot of people that are critical of him calling that timeout, and then of course the Bills go down and score that touchdown and saying, you could have gone into halftime 7-3, just take what you have right there, bird in the hand, and get the ball to start the second half instead of trying to be a little greedy and calling the timeout, get the ball back, maybe go up 10-3, maybe go up 14-3. Were you okay with the strategy by Andy Reid to call the timeout, stop the clock, and try to do something more aggressive?
Yeah, I was fine with it. Like, I think, we want them to be aggressive. Like, I think, sometimes the Chiefs are a little bit not aggressive, and like, we can't criticize them for finally doing some aggressive things. And I look at the situation, the game, like the Chiefs defense is playing well. The Chiefs defense is playing well. They had them on a 3rd and 13 at the goal line, the shadow of the goal line too. It's like, they were close. And they played well throughout the entire first half. I don't see any issue with, hey, like, let's try to steal this possession here. Let's try to see if we can get points on the board because we're getting the ball to start the second half. Like, I think that game was decided in the middle 8. The first 4 minutes of the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. That's where that game was decided. That was where everything kind of like that. That's how that game was determined. And if the Chiefs, are able to get a few more points on the board, if they're able to navigate, I mean, they kicked the field goal to end the first half. They kicked the field goal to start the second half. They play a little bit better in that middle 8. They probably win that football game.
Visiting with Kent Swanson, and by the way, when the Chiefs get the stop on Josh Allen, and it's a 1-yard loss, it's Nick Bolton that makes the tackle there. There's a minute 18 to go, and it's about to be 3rd and 13 from the Buffalo 1. If the Bills take the snap with 40 seconds left on the clock, if Andy Reid doesn't call the timeout, and then the Bills don't pick up the first down or something, and then the Chiefs drive down the field, run out of time, but they're at like the 10-yard line. And it's like, boy, Andy Reid, if you had those 35 seconds, but it's Andy Reid wants to leave with the timeout on the clock, and it would be such revisionist history of going Andy Reid's not aggressive if it didn't work out. But it's 3rd and 13 from the 1-yard line. Call a timeout, get the ball back, because I would hope your defense would not give up 18 yards. They did, and it cost them. But in the same situation moving forward, I want Andy Reid to make the same exact decision.
100%. And exactly. It's like kind of like we can't play both sides of the coin, I don't think, because sometimes we're too critical of him being conservative. Like, this was a chance to be aggressive. All indicators are, the Chiefs defense has played great. Like, just, hey, get one more stop. They got him behind, they got him 3rd and 13. Like, I have no problems at all with what they did.
Yep, I'm with you. And the between the last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half, it's a great point, because that's where I think Josh Allen was brilliant. He was as good as we see or think Josh Allen can be as an MVP type quarterback. He was 13 of 13. He had almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns passing from the, from that 3rd down and 13. From 3rd and 13, the 18-yard pass to Gabriel Davis until the 4th and 3 from the Chiefs 46 with 14 minutes to go in the game. He was 13 of 13. And those 2 touchdown passes to Gabriel Davis and Stephon Diggs for almost 200 yards. That was the difference in the game, those drives. And guess what? Tip your cap. Josh Allen might win the MVP this year, so that's going to happen.
Yeah. I'll even add to that, though. I think as great as Josh Allen was, if the Chiefs handle, if the Chiefs are able to get 7 on the board to start the second half.
True. Yeah.
That might have been mitigated still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Josh Allen was awesome, but like at the same time, if the offense plays a little bit better, we aren't even worrying about that here.
Yeah, or after 3rd and 18 or 3rd and 13 and they pick up 18 yards, hold them to a field goal, and you go into half down or up 7-6. And if you can put a touchdown on the board to start the second half, you're up 14-6. So you've kind of got control of the game. But that's not what happened, because they go out and they played well. Are you Kent Swanson's our guest? Are you cool with the Spagnuolo blitzes and the Josh Williams one-on-one on the outside and some of those things that we saw against the Bills? Or are you fine with Spagnuolo's defensive strategy that he implemented against the Bills in that game?
Yeah, I don't know why I wouldn't be. They held him to 24 points. And yes, I know that there were 2 big explosive play touchdowns that occurred. But, Josh Allen was terrible against the blitz. He hadn't I don't remember the first completion he had against the blitz, but I think it might have been on that final drive. And, heating him up had been good. Joshua Williams, long athletic corner, like I understand he's mismatched against Gabe Davis on the outside. I'll use the first touchdown as an example. That's the one I have the least problem with. It's, hey, this team has been heating Josh Allen up. He's been inconsistent with his accuracy. And that throw is not a high percentage throw. Throwing a fade outside the numbers is not the highest percentage throw. If you're going to force a team to try to make those plays and force them to make it to win the football game, like, I can live with that a little bit. Are the Chiefs cornerbacks good playing the ball on these routes? No. But these are still not high percentage throws that you're throwing up. People call it 50-50 balls, but like, I would like to see Josh Allen's completion percentage on fade routes like that. I don't think it's going to be 50%. And so, yeah, the Bills took a shot. The Chiefs tried to heat him up. They had a lot of success heating him up to that point. And, hey, they picked a matchup. They took their matchup, and they won that matchup. Gabriel Davis did a great job to end the half with that play. But, the 2 of the 3 touchdowns scored were on low percentage fade routes, and Steve Spagnuolo had called a great game outside of that. I don't have any problems whatsoever with it.
And also the blitz didn't get there. On 4th down against the Raiders on Monday Night Football, he leaves one-on-one coverage, Josh Williams on Devontae Adams, and blitzes, and guess what? The blitz got there. And Derek Carr had to throw it while Nick Bolton was hitting him. The pass to Gabe Davis down the sideline, Josh Allen had plenty of time to throw because they brought 7 and didn't pressure him. Didn't force him off his spot. Nothing. It was kind of take your 3-step drop. Look, here's my read. There's my matchup. There's my advantage. Release the ball. Good to go. Touchdown. You get there quick. You get a free rusher, and maybe Josh Allen has to throw it, and maybe it's a little short. Maybe Josh Williams turns around, knocks it away. Maybe it's too far. Gabe Davis can't get there. Maybe it's just a sack, and who knows what happens with that. But as far as like the blitzing goes, this coming from your colleague at KC Sports Network, kcsn.substack.com, Matt Lane wrote this about the defense and the blitzing. And I thought this was really interesting because it's one thing to say like, oh, boy, how dumb are you for doing some of these things? And then actually let's get some context and let's see what happened. And this is why I like the analytics of it, because it's just more information. Okay. It can inform you on decisions and analyzing what took place. The Chiefs in the game on passing plays where they brought 4 and they played sort of that nobody's getting behind us. We're rushing with 4. We're dropping 7. We're playing, coverage. We're not going to blitz. The expected points added per play for the Bills was 0.49. When the Chiefs blitzed, the expected points added was minus 0.2. That includes the 2 touchdown passes. So the strategy worked, outside of a couple of pretty good plays and great throw by Josh Allen and nice push off by Gabe Davis, and Stephon Diggs is a stud. So it happens.
They found, it worked. That's what I'm saying. It's like you live and die by it. And it's like the low points, the low lights of that strategy are what people are holding on to. But I think Josh Allen started the day 0 for 7 against the blitz. And it's like, hey, why dance with the girl that got you there and heat him up and continue to heat him up. That's the one, like, I think saving grace, or one of the hopes I have is like, I think Josh Allen has some fatal flaws as a player that I don't think Mahomes necessarily does, where it's like, it's just always going to be that problem. I think Josh Allen can be heated up. I think when he's heated up, he starts throwing off his back foot a little bit more. I think his accuracy gets a little less consistent. And that's one of the next time these two teams meet up, I think heating Josh Allen up is going to be the deciding factor in that game. And you saw some inconsistencies with that offense when that happened. And look, dance with the girl that got you. I know the low lights are low, but I'm not criticizing it all. You've got to pick your battles. You got to pick your spots when you're going to leave Joshua Williams one-on-one, and they did, and the Bills exploited him.
The defense has played just fine this year. The defense has played well enough to where they should have beaten Indianapolis in the way the defense played. And I know that it's like, well, they can't get a stop when they won the game. Well, don't put them in that position, man. The offense scored the minimal amount of points that they did. And, with this one, Chiefs are leading 20-17. Well, the defense can't get a stop when they need it. Well, go score again and go up 27-17 like you did on the Chargers. The defense didn't get a stop at the end against the Chargers. Didn't matter because they were up 10 at that time. So go score a touchdown, LA. Take time doing it. Chiefs are going to win the game. So defense is playing more than good enough for this team to win a Super Bowl. The offense needs to figure some things out as well. They scored 20 points against the Bills, and they scored 17 against the Indianapolis Colts in those losses. Ken Swanson is our guest. Let's talk about one of the things that has been discussed at different points throughout the season, and that is the running game for this Chiefs team. We saw it. It was awesome against the Bucs. It has taken some steps back since then against the Raiders and against the Bills. If you're assessing and looking at what some of the issues are with the running game, is it, the running backs themselves? Is scheme a part of it? Is it the offensive line not being good enough as well, or doing some of those things? Maybe it's all of the above, but what do you look at and how do you assess what's going on with the run game with the Chiefs?
I hope Josh Brisco can't listen to any of this. I'm kind of concerned about Clyde Edwards-Helaire a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I think he's left a lot of yards on the field last couple weeks. I think this week specifically, I looked at some of the runs, and I don't think these runs are the best designed for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But there's a lot of good things that he brings to the table. I think he's the best running back on this roster, which I think is saying something. But I think his lack of an extra gear, his lack of explosiveness, the one thing that I think a lot of people were worried about with him coming out. There's a lot of qualities that you really like: the contact balance, ability to catch out of the backfield, good vision. But man, the second gear shows up so much the lack of it. And I think about there's a play in the second half. They tried to run a wide zone play for him, and he's trying to run and sprint to the edge, and Matt Milano comes in, trips him up for a gain of 1 maybe, and that just kind of feels like a microcosm for what this running back room has, right now. I don't think that they have a great, answer in that room that's going to be able to consistently provide, what's blocked. And it's some physical limitations with Clyde. It's a lack of vision, I think, at times with Isaiah Pacheco. And then Jerick McKinnon, you've got to kind of put him on a pitch count, I think, because you've got to manage his health because he's had such issues with injuries. So I don't think there's a great solution for the Chiefs running back room getting, back on track. And I'm kind of worried about this group as a whole, honestly. Now, I think the blocking scheme can change a little bit. Like, I would love to see more gap. I think when the Chiefs have used a little bit more of that blocking scheme outside of the zone stuff that they typically have run, it's looked a lot better. Like what you saw against Tampa. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked a lot better in those. But man, it was hard to watch yards left on the field from the running back position this weekend. I'm pretty alarmed by it right now.
You're sounding especially handsome today, Kent. Just want you to know that.
I figured you'd like that, Joshua. Yeah, okay.
So what did you like about that, Josh?
Clyde leaving yards on the field, I think, is a pretty evident takeaway at this point. Even with some of the EPA charting where Isaiah Pacheco has had worse blocking, he's achieved at a higher level than Clyde Edwards-Helaire has, especially as of late. So I do also share some bigger picture concerns. But when Kent mentions, hey, all these running backs have their drawbacks, the one that discourages me the least is Pacheco's vision, because that can improve as his career goes on. I just think we kind of know what Clyde is. I think we've kind of known what Clyde is for a little bit.
And I think the Chiefs know what Clyde is as well. It's just perplexing that they would run some of these, horizontal runs for him down the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if the Chiefs know what that's a good point. I mean,
have
they used one thing that I've seen, like Seth is always talking about, is Clyde as an actual pass catcher has been able to make some impact plays, but how do you divvy up all that blame amongst the group of the situations the coaches are putting them in, the offensive line that's been kind of up and down, and the running backs that you already kind of went through?
Yeah, great question. I think there's a lot on the backs, and I think there's a lot on the play calling. I don't think it's the offensive line too much. I think there's plenty of meat on the bone in the running game for the offensive line. They haven't been perfect. I don't love the play calling. Part of the reason you're at the outside zone stuff is because it leaves the run pass option stuff a little bit more available, right? So that part of that is hey, we're going to run some of this because we can keep players in conflict, which essentially lightens the boxes for these guys and these running backs a little bit. But it's not working. And so I don't know. I think it's primarily the backs and primarily the play calling. I think the offensive line is done just fine. So I think it's mostly on those two.
Sounds like it's time for a little Ronald Jones. That's what it sounds like to me.
Sounds like it's time to draft a running back in the first round and fix this thing once and for all. Am I right, guys? Hello.
I'm just saying. I think, my personal opinion, I think Ronald Jones is the best pure runner of the football. And not to then become where you can see the Chiefs be a team that is predictable, that, Ronald Jones is out there, it's time to run the football, because he's not going to pass protect and he's not going to go out for passes. So it's got to be running the football time. But if I'm talking about you're handing it off and the offensive line blocking and getting either what's blocked or more, and vision and power, and I think a little bit of burst too, I think Ronald Jones is the best runner of the football. I wish he was better at pass pro. I wish he was a better receiver as well. Because, again, he had 1,000 yards on the Bucs when they won the Super Bowl, but they also went out and brought in Leonard Fournette because Ronald Jones couldn't do the things that they wanted from their running back, like protect Tom Brady and go out and catch passes like James White was able to do with the Patriots with Tom Brady, and that's what Fournette offered them. So then he lost his job to Leonard Fournette. He still had 1,000 yards rushing that year on that Bucs team. So, I mean, I think he's talented. It's just, I don't know. They clearly don't think he's good enough or better than what the other three bring. I mean, that and if we trust them in a lot of other decisions that they make with, personnel and skill position players on offense, then I'll give benefit of the doubt on this one that they're clearly not seeing something from Ronald Jones that they're seeing from the other guys or what they bring to the table and the scheme or whatever matchups might be that week. So I don't know. I'd like to see him get a chance, though. Let's see what happens. What do you think happens against the 49ers? Ken Swanson, KC Sports Network. What do you think happens, and is there a final score in mind that you have that you're thinking for the game Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, give me a win. I think this team will respond. I mean, they've just been through a really rough game. A lot for them to improve on, a lot of them to work on, and I think they're going to try to get it back on track. I believe they have a bye week right after this too. So, I think their sights have got to be set on, hey, take care of business here. We can get back, get healthy, get rolling again. This is kind of a sneaky big game for them. Yeah. This is one of the bigger challenges I think that they have left on the roster or on the schedule. So I think 27-20 sounds about right for me. I don't think the Chiefs offense is going to have it all figured out this week and be over explosive. Even if a bunch of, even if a lot of guys miss this week for the Niners, which is a very real possibility, I think it's going to be a tight game. Chiefs wind up pulling it out late, 27-20.
All right. Ken Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Kent, you're the man. Appreciate the time, sir. And we'll figure out getting together and getting out on a golf course soon just to experience Beards and Josh for a few hours.
I'm going to go work on my swing, Kent.
That's right. He's going to go swing.
Yeah, go get some work done, buddy. You need it.
That's right. Go get some coaching. Yes, that's true. That is true. Kent, you're the man. Appreciate it, sir.
Catch you guys later.
Absolutely. Kent Swanson, KCSN.substack.com, and also KC Laboratory Podcast for Kent Swanson, Matt Lang, Craig Stout, the fellows we get a chance to talk to on Thursdays. We'll take a time out. We'll come back, and later on this hour, we'll hear from Dave Tobe, Eric Bieniemy, Steve Spagnuolo, and Juan Thornhill will be at the podium today for the Chiefs. So we'll take a time out. We'll come back. We're hanging out at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. Fantastic spot. We'll tell you more about that on the other side of the break, what you can win, giveaways today, the membership specials they have, the monthly membership going on right now as well. Total Performance Golf in Overland Park, 7320 West 162nd in Overland Park, just south of 159th and Metcalf. More Zone next.
Take the show with you by listening live on 810WHB.com, in the 810 mobile app, or by subscribing to The Zone wherever you get your podcasts. The Zone with Jason Anderson.
Why are you getting things wrong, Jason?
Weekdays from 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Couple minutes.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We are hanging out at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park, a fantastic spot that we are located at today, 7320 West 162nd in Overland Park, just south of 159th and Metcalf. And we've got these giveaways that we're doing today. If you come out here and say hi and see what they have to offer and meet John Richmond, the founder of Total Performance Golf, and see all of the different things that they have here, why he's nationally and regionally recognized by his peers and national golf publications for the programs, the simulators, the gym here as well, the 3D lesson app, the monthly membership special they've got going on right now, along with some of the giveaways as well. You've got the prepaid monthly simulator that you can take advantage of, data tracking, foresight, QC, quads, and just the overall coaching that comes along with it and trying to improve your swing and become a better golfer, maybe learn to play golf, but maybe even get better at playing golf as well. It is a really cool spot, and private coaching available as well here at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. So this is a fun spot to be at, and I'm ready to get some swings in. Dylan has been swinging a little bit, and Josh, you're yet to start swinging. Mick's been doing it for 10 years with his family, but I really would like to just a few in the break here. Golf, we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what golf's Mick's a big
his wife
golfer.
He and his wife play like league golf.
They golf together.
At nights.
I'm sure he's worn the hat with all the pins on it many times.
He walks around with the tee in his ear between his hat and his ear. He's that guy.
He is that
goodness.
guy.
Oh, he's like Matt Patricia with his
pencil and a laminated play sheet.
And a laminated play sheet. I don't think that pencil's going to work.
Mick Schaefer's on TV with a golf tee behind his ear in a full suit in a studio. It's like, hey, Mick, I just don't think you need that now. It's a fashion choice. He had to start wearing it in a in his lapel hole on his jacket.
Oh yeah.
How about that? His little golf tee right there. Maybe the ball on the tee.
Oh yeah.
Hi, I'm Mick Schaefer, golf guy.
That's exactly right.
I just want him to get brought together.
Total Performance Golf is our location today, and some really, really awesome stuff as well. Plus, with the membership that you get cost plus on all equipment purchases for members that they have, they are top 100 in ping fitting in the world.
That seems good. That seems very high,
including Europe.
That seems extremely high on that. Yeah, there's a lot of golf in Europe.
States. Tons of it.
Believe it.
There's an entire open for it.
Yeah.
It's like a whole major. It's like there's a cup too that goes along with it.
Seems like
it's an entire team that takes on another team, and you
got to
ride everywhere to get there.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's the Riding Cup, I believe they call it.
It's WRITING. It's just a bunch of people getting together that usually play golf at a high level. Then they have writing contests, short stories, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
essays.
You're right, about the beautiful game.
That's all it's about. Total Performance Golf is our location today. Awesome spot. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. I want to get into some of the texts that have been coming in that I have not got into yet. I've written a bunch of them down that I want to go and read as well. So we'll get into that. But on the other side, we'll hear from Steve Spagnuolo. We'll hear from Dave Toe. We'll hear from Eric Bieniemy and also Juan Thornhill coming up next.
You're in the zone with Jason Anderson on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
My next.
All right, let's send it out to the practice facility. Dave Tobe at the podium right now.
I mean, this guy's unbelievable. He's got a strong leg. Coming off an injury is really remarkable.
What do you think his, realistically, what do you think in a game situation his outside would be?
Depends. I mean, you know, we always go by how he looks in pregame. So the furthest out we've ever had him prepared to go during a game was like a 58. So I told Andy, you know, from the 40 that we're good during a game. There might be a game, you know, a situation where we might go further than that, you know. The thing that you always gotta weigh in is the field position. You know, if he missed it, what you're giving up, you know, in the field position end of it. So that's always a factor. At the end of a half, I mean, you're coming off the field. It's all, you know, it's over. So you know, those things are important.
Does your name go next to him in the book since you're
No. I'm just lucky to have just lucky to be here for that whole situation with Matthew and then him. I mean, it's just crazy that it happened two weeks in a row. You know, simultaneous weeks. It's just unbelievable.
Dave, you explained this before, but the one on top of the stadium looks like it's going one way. Is that every game at Arrowhead?
Not every game. Sometimes it swirls, you know, but this time, you know, the flags they were blowing that way, and the wind. I mean, if you looked at the flags, you said the wind was blowing in his face, but the wind comes in that way and then hits the stadium and then blows back. You know, hits the back end of the stadium and it blows towards the other goal point. And then the stadium itself, when the wind's coming in there, it kind of provides a wall for the direct wind, and then that's why it comes back when the ball flies up. You get a little bit more hang time that way.
So is that something you have to learn throughout a game?
Yeah, I mean, it changes too during the game. You know, you always see the guys walking out like in timeouts and stuff, and they're always checking the wind, and Tommy does it more than anybody, but you know, that's what they're looking for, because it changes during the game all the time. And they'll come over and they'll tell me, hey, you know, I wanted to go right early, but now I want to go left. So, you know, and then we make the adjustment during the game.
How nice was it to see everything work perfectly on that timing part of it? And you guys work on that stuff a lot in practice, but when it's like go time, you got to make those calls real quick. Because it looked like he wanted to run out there, and it was like, nah, we got time for one.
Yeah, we were ready to go. You know, we do practice it. They're not always record-breaking field goals. I mean, we go down and we get a field goal at the end of a half, and it happens a lot. You know, our offense does you know, obviously Mahomes does a great job, and Andy, with the calls getting us down there to, you know, to be able to provide us with that opportunity.
There's a call out there for a punt return in the fourth.
Yeah.
The idea just to spark something maybe.
Yeah, that situation right there. You know, if we get a punt return for a touchdown in that situation, the game's over. And we had an opportunity there too. You know, we were playing McCall at 45 yards, and he happened to bomb one. I mean, that was the longest punt that he's had all year. It was 65 yards. That's why McCall had to go back 20 yards to catch it, and he didn't catch it perfect, but he was going away from cover, so he had time to be able to field it and get going. We were one block away from scoring. If you really go back and look at that, and that would have been something right there.
Fair to call McCall this.
McCall he's kind of like, you know how I used Tyreek last year. Yeah. He's very similar to that. You know, that's what I'm doing with him right now. We know that McCall a little bit faster than Sky. Sky's got quickness, but I want to keep developing Sky. We need Sky. We need Sky to be a productive player for us as a punt returner.
Dave, with so many new pieces, or obviously not having as many veteran guys maybe in the core group, how long will you think it takes for the blocking to sort of come together?
All right. I know where you're going with that, because our returns, you know, the return game's kind of not where we want it to be, but it's getting better and better each week. You know, if you really look at it and you see, you know, what's preventing us from breaking it out, I think soon we're going to break one. I mean, I really do. And then, you know, and then confidence will build, and we'll get better and better as we go. But we're close, and we do have a lot of young players. I'm not making any excuses. We're behind where we need to be right now. You know, I'm never really satisfied ever, but in the return game, punt and kick return, we need to do better. We're getting there.
What stands out to you about the 49ers in the kicking game?
You know, Robbie Gould is the first thing that comes to my mind. I coached Robbie for 6 years, you know, at Chicago. Great player, 18-year veteran. You know, arguably could be in the Hall of Fame, you know, someday. I mean, he's that good. The fact that he's still going, it's really remarkable. You know, and then their punter, Mitch, he's really good. Right-footed, strong type of guy. You know, that you never know where the ball's going to go. It's tough. And then their coverage is good. They're well coached. You know, Brian Snyder does a great job. So, you know, they got a home game. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for us.
What are you seeing from McLeod as a returner? What do you kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't talk about him, but I mean, he's a punt and kick returner and very dynamic guy, experienced, tough to bring down. We need to get a lot of bodies to him, so it's going to be tough.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
See you later.
All right, there's Dave Tobe talking about the long kick for Harrison Buckner, the 62-yarder that he hit there at the end of the half. Should point out that Rashad Fenton is not practicing today, so that's on the injury report. So probably not going to be playing this weekend against the 49ers, especially if it's questionable. You got a bye week next week, so why really, risk it at that point? Dave Tobe, here is Eric Bieniemy.
Got scripts and that stuff. I'm not leaving my script for you guys either. Good afternoon. Hope all is well. Hope everybody's family's doing well. Coming off a tough loss from this past weekend. Thought our guys played hard, but obviously we didn't play good enough. Our guys have done a heck of a job. They understand exactly what's the mission this week, and they're focused and locked in. So with that said, I'm all ears.
Because the 49ers are pretty banged up on defense, and as you go into a week like this, and you look at that injury report, how much of your planning is more for the scheme as opposed to specific personnel?
Well, here's one thing that I've always learned, Herbie. Okay, it doesn't make a difference who shows up on that injury report. All those guys seem to get healthy for the Chiefs, so we're still scheming the scheme. But on top of that, we're very much aware of who's playing and who's not playing. So when it's all said and done, we got to line up and play against the guys. But I'm expecting those guys that can play to come out there and compete their tails off. We know what they have, and we're looking forward to the matchup.
Coach, in your running game, have you gotten like the max amount of yards you think you could have gotten with the way some of the plays are blocked? Have you left yards out there on the table at this point this year?
Oh yeah, we've left a lot of yards. I mean, we've left a lot of rushing yards. We've left a lot of passing yards. But also, too, let's give credit where credit is due. Buffalo did a hell of a job against us, against the run. They also did a good job of stopping our passes, our pass game as well. But it just goes back to going back to the basics, understanding that we have to perform at a high level regardless. We're going to get everybody's best shot. So we have to come out understanding that. And then our guys got to perform and make sure that we can maximize the opportunities being presented to us by running the football. Right now, we didn't do a good job. I know we're capable of doing better, but we just got to continue to work at it.
On that front, how important is it to not get brought down by the first guy and only one guy? It seems like a few times there's been just one person brings the running back down. It hasn't had to be a gang tackle or anything like that.
Obviously, you always want guys that can get post-contact yards, but let's give credit where credit is due. Two of those big tackles that was made last week was by a kid who's a hell of a player. Kid Milano, he's a Pro Bowler. He does a hell of a job. He's a running hit guy. He made some big-time tackles in the open field. And so I'll go back to what I said earlier. They did a better job of executing than what we did. So we'll give them all the credit. It's our job as a coaching staff to make sure that our guys can go out there and execute and do the little things better by being stronger at the point of contact and doing all the little things necessary that can help us to be better.
Andy mentioned that trying to give these backs equal opportunities. I guess, how much, as a former running back coach, former running back, like how much of a give and take is there between like making sure these guys are fresh and then being able to get into a rhythm, and how much of both things you have to sort of think about when you're choosing?
There's a lot that goes into it, and obviously there is just what you said. You want the guy who's basically in rhythm. If that guy has a hot hand, let's roll with him. But regardless, those guys know their role. They all are professional football players. When they step up to the plate, we expect them to perform at a high level. So their job is to go out there and perform and play, regardless of how many or how few reps that they're getting. We're expecting them to go out there and execute, give us the best opportunity to win.
Can you explain the give and take you have to make, especially at this point in the season when you're starting to make adjustments, starting to scout your own abilities as a unit, where you have to say you want maybe 4 or 5 guys out in routes versus chip help or from the tight end or the running back? Just how much of that is being discussed right now, and what is that like for you when you have a decent amount a sampling of games to sort of go through?
That's always a discussion each and every week. Are we getting enough protection? Are we scatting enough guys out? Because you guys got to understand, we want to be an attacking offense. We want to make sure that we're staying on the attack and giving our guys the best opportunities to go out there and play and execute what we want them to execute. But on top of that, we also understand the importance of protecting the quarterback. So just like I just discussed earlier, everybody has a role and everybody has a job. Our job is to make sure we're putting our guys in the best position. But on top of that, we got some paid professional football players that we're expecting them to go out and do their job as well. Now, do we understand that sometimes those guys are faced with challenges? Yes, we do. But that's the nature of this game. You go out there to compete at a high level. You want your guys to be at their best and also performing at a high level, but also understanding that sometimes things happen. So how are we going to overcome it? We will overcome it by doing the things that we're doing this week, getting back on track, working on the little things, the fundamentals to help us to go out there and be successful, and expecting our guys to come out with a little vinegar and a little whatever. You know what else I wanted to say? And come out and play with a little fire just because of what happened and what took place this past weekend.
Eric, when you look at the screenplay to Burton that didn't quite work out, you can hear Patrick call an audible on that play. Is that becoming more frequent in the offense now?
And here's you guys may hear a lot of things, and I know players are mic'd up. Pat does a great job of utilizing this cadence. Some things are real, some things are not real, and sometimes those things are to throw the defensive schemes off. We had a play designed, and we just didn't execute it, And obviously, you want your players to be at their best, in those particular moments. But like I said, I'm not going to make any excuse. Our guys, we just didn't play well enough to win the game. Coach Les, Coach Sean McDermott, and them, they did a great job.
That was the original play then on that?
I'm not going to tell you that, Sam.
I have to believe that.
To that point, Pat seems to have an knack for the free play. What do you think has made him so good at Rodgers' likability of sometimes being able to throw it down?
Some guys just have that innate ability to look downfield and try and make a play. Because and we've talked about this before, he has that pilot vision eyes where he can see the entire field. Some guys don't have that where they can basically see a flag being thrown from their left and also understand that I got receivers potentially open downfield because the defense have slacked off. So we're encouraging that. We want him to try and make a play whenever possible. But that's just who Pat is,
Speaking of Pat, sometimes, he's talked about in the past, he wants to be more patient. You feel like that sometimes kind of can hurt him a little bit?
If anybody in here is a competitor, sometimes the hardest thing that you can do is learn how to be patient. As coaches, we want to go out there and put 70 points on the scoreboard. We want to do whatever we can. But on top of that, we also need to understand that we have to be patient in making sure that we're doing the little things to help our guys to be at their best. So yes, is it a challenge every week for players to be patient? Yes, it is. But it's our job as a coaching staff to make sure that we're calming the storm. And on top of that, making sure that they're realizing, hey, you know what? We still got 60 minutes or it's 30 minutes or it's 15 minutes left in the game. We have a lot of football to play. We just need to take our shots when those shots are presented.
Last two, Nick and Matt.
Eric, with this rushing attack, do you feel like it's found its identity for the first six?
You know what? There is an identity. We're still looking for it. Obviously, we found it once upon a time. We got to re-identify who we are. But that's just everybody being on the same page and everybody doing their part. Listen, we got good football players. We got good guys up front. We just got to play better, And on top of that, you guys got to understand, those defenses on this other side of the ball are pretty damn good. Now, that's no excuse. We still got to line up, put our hand in the dirt, and get after them. But I'm not going to make an excuse. Those guys play better than what we did.
Coach, every week in the NFL is hard, but for you guys specifically, after this week, you'll face three of the top 5 scoring defenses in the NFL, just the way it's worked out. How can that benefit you guys in the home stretch moving forward that you face so many good defenses already this season?
it helps. It helps with the maturing process. We got a lot of young players who are playing a lot of ball on both sides of the ball, and including special teams. So it gives those younger guys an opportunity to grow. You know, as a coaching staff, we're watching how our guys are handling these adverse situations that we're being put under. And I'll say this, you wouldn't want it any other way. You want your guys to have an opportunity to line up and play against the best each and every week, because that's the way that you discover what type of team, what type of character, and what type of group that you have going into the season. So I'm fired up. I wouldn't take it any different way. We want to line up and play against the best each and every week.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, guys.
All right, there's Eric Bieniemy, Chiefs offensive coordinator, and we will hear from Steve Spagnuolo. You're listening to Sports Radio 810 WHB Kansas City. Some interesting stuff there from Eric Bieniemy, talking about the running game, that saying, yeah, left a lot of yards out there. They're going to go with the guy that they want to be in rhythm, the hot hand. He also said the hardest thing to do and learn is patience, along with looking for an identity right now. Here's Steve Spagnuolo.
I don't have anything to add. We, obviously disappointed in last week's loss, but dusted off, got right back to work on Wednesday, and now it's focused on another opponent. So with that, I'll open it up.
You guys look like you're greatly improved from a year ago, and I thought you guys have stood up against some really good offenses. How do you look at your defense?
Yeah, I would agree with the statement, and the one area that we want to get better on is the two games that we didn't finish. That's what kind of sticks in there. The Colts game where they come down. We thought we had them stopped, but we didn't. And then they end up scoring, and then certainly this past game. I mean, that's where, listen, I think all defenses you need to rely on at the end of games, regardless of the score. I mean, if it's I always say this to the guys, even if it's a 3-possession game, if we allow points, we just let them back in. Because when you get to 2 possessions, all it takes is 3 plays, and you can lose. Touchdown, onside kick, touchdown. That's how quick it can happen. So I would agree with your assessment. I think the guys are playing good. I hope we get better. But I'd like to get better at the end of those particular games.
Are there things you're identifying in those situations? The Chargers got a touchdown late as well.
Yeah.
Are there things you're identifying, maybe some common themes that areas you guys need to get better on those particular situations?
Yeah, yes and no. Like if I remember the Chargers game, when they did score, did it get them? Was it a 2-possession?
It was 10 points, and then it was 3.
Yeah, then it was 3. So it was the same idea. Sometimes you look, are our guys getting tired? We don't think that's the case. We did play a lot of plays this past game. Not a common theme. I mean, there might be a mental error here or there. And listen, we got to give the offenses a little bit of credit too. The 3 that we're talking about are pretty good.
So you obviously have time to make a decision on Trent McDuffie and Willie Gay. Just from what you've seen of them on the field over these past couple of days, how are they looking to you?
Yeah, I mean, look, both of them look good to me yesterday. Now, I go off of what Rick, in Trent's case, I go off of what Rick says. And Willie, listen, he's a ball of energy, so he's going to be 100 miles an hour no matter what. But he's rusty. He hasn't been in there for a month, so he'll have to knock some rust off. But we need to do that. We need to get him out there and get rolling.
Steve, obviously on every scheme, you got so many variables that. How would you evaluate your ability to generate pressure with the 4-man rush, and what goes into? I know it's just a broad question, but what goes into your determination to when you have to blitz more?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a lot of things. Who's back there covering? Who do we have to cover? Does somebody need to be doubled? Because when you get into needing to double somebody, and yet you want to have security of a post, just talking football language, right? You start eliminating a number of guys you can bring on the rush, now it's down to 4. So, and yet there are times when we have to say, look, we're going to have to bring people, and we're just going to have to cover. And that happened a couple of times in this past game. And quite honestly, on the first touchdown on Josh, I thought he was in great shape. He should have turned, and he knows that. Otherwise, if he makes that play, I mean, we're all pretty fired up, and that's the margin of error in this game. 4-man rushes, I think we'll continue to get better. In my opinion, what we need to do is to get into some longer third downs. And that's a result of what you do on first and second down, right? And we had been playing the run a little bit better in the last 2 games. I think it hasn't been as good, and yet we played last week a certain way. We actually knew that was probably going to happen. But we'd like to get with this team coming up now. We got to get back to playing the run and force them into the longer third downs.
And what do you think George needs to work on?
Listen, I see Joe's over there with him all the time, and he's on the phone with Joe when he's at home at 11 o'clock at night. I mean, anybody that works harder at it. And we've put him in different places, and eventually we'll settle in and get him in a spot and get him going, get him in a little bit of a rhythm. He's got the rotation, but he's a young guy learning now, and I just think he'll just get better and better.
Steve, in general terms, what have you guys missed without Willie Gay?
He brings a lot of speed. But I will say this, and I think you guys all saw it, I thought Darius Harris did a nice job fitting in there. Everybody has their, strengths and weaknesses and their assets, and Darius brought his assets with how hard he plays and how cerebral he is, and he's in the right place, and he works well with Nick. Willie, you guys have seen Willie. He runs around, he makes explosive plays, he's dynamic, and he loves playing, so he brings a lot of energy, which we love. So I think he's going to bring all those things again.
Have you been seeing enough from Trent yet in half a game to be able to identify what?
Well, I do think he's a good football player. I mean, I don't think we would have inserted him there as a starter from day one if we didn't feel that way. But it's interesting. You never know how a young guy's going to react to injury. Now, he's done all the right things. I mean, you talk to the trainers. I mean, he's terrific with all of that. He's been fully in tuned. Yeah, I'll give you an example. Trent, look, he doesn't have to be at Saturday night meetings, when he wanted to be at every meeting. So he'd drive over himself and then drive back home. I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. Hopefully the play will show up on the field.
Coach, two things. One, in this day and age, this game coming up, how do you tackle the quarterback?
Legally?
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to tackle him legally.
What's legal? I mean, bad language can get you in trouble.
It's tough, yeah, it's tough. Listen, I said this before. All I can do is take the videos that the NFL sends us, and they send the good and bad ones, feed them to the guys, and say, this is how the rules say you're supposed to play, and go play that way.
And Garoppolo, what's the way to go after him? When you're facing him,
yeah,
wily veteran, what is the best way to get to him?
I was saying this the other day. I've always had great respect for Jimmy. I spent some time quickly with him when I was with the Giants, and he came in for one of the 30 visits, and I would be normally talking to defensive players, but we happened to sit at a table together, and I had a great conversation with him for a half hour. Really like him. He looked like when he was with the Patriots and he was a backup, you'd watch them all warm up, all those quarterbacks. They all looked like Tom. And Jimmy does too. He sits there in that pocket, and he's tall, and he knows what he's looking at and reading, and he gets the ball out. He's one of those guys. I think he's one of those perfect quarterbacks that knows how to operate an offense in a drop-back system, and Kyle does some really good things with him. So just like we would do with a Patriot quarterback, you're going to try to get him off the spot. You got to try to get him to move his feet. He's athletic, so it's not like we're inviting him to run, because he can run. But that's how I see him.
Just a couple more. Let's go to Herbie next.
Coach, I think I ask you this question every week about the team's wide receiver. You'll ask
Yeah.
Diggs and Gabe Davis. This week, what's unique about Deebo Samuel? What you need to be aware of?
that you gotta. Sometimes when he's out there, you have to consider him a running back, and sometimes when he's out there, you have to consider him a wide receiver because he's both. I've never seen a guy break as many tackles as he does, but he's unique. We haven't faced anybody like this before. The challenges that they have when they put him in the backfield and he's not in the backfield, and they're moving him and they're motioning him, they're all challenging for us. So we're working on it, and hopefully we can find a way to limit his explosive plays, because they're really effective when he's explosive.
I'm sorry, just one follow-up on that. How does that stress the defense when there's a guy like that?
Yeah. You got to make some conscious decisions of what you want to do. Do you want to play man? Are you going to put a linebacker on him when he's in the backfield? Are you going to put a DB on him? If you do that, it's changing the structure of everything else you do. So we're going to pick our spots. I mean, obviously, that's why they do it. That's why they do it.
Steve, you mentioned Josh Williams.
Yeah.
Talking in post game, he said there were a number of plays that he wanted to get back. I think you mentioned one.
Yeah.
What do you tell him? I mean, he's a rookie, right? Like,
yeah.
That confidence level isn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that he keeps it?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think he's just done this. He's one of the guys, Dave and I say it all the time, that he tries to do it exactly the way you coach it, and he's been doing that since he got here, and he just gets better and better. He just dusts off and moves forward. I thought he did that during the game. I expect him to do it, going into this game. And you're right, but you had to expect that there were going to be a couple of plays in there that weren't going to go exactly the way we wanted. But we lived through the growing pains, and hopefully, going forward, that helps us.
You might not
Nick?
enjoy the touchdown, but what do you enjoy most about being in one-on-one in a game scenario against one of the best quarterbacks that can potentially serve Josh moving forward?
Yeah, you talking about some Josh Williams moving forward. Yeah, I mean, look at if you can, and I think we all saw it. He was in great position. We're talking about this one play, right? Because the other one was a catch and throw, 14. I'm not sure who would have defended that. But what we can take away is that he was stride for stride. He was in step. If he just turns a different way, it can be a different outcome. It'd be a lot different than if somebody just blew by him or he couldn't do his work at the line of scrimmage and he was getting beat. But I didn't see that happening. So to us, that's encouraging.
Nick, and then Neil, and we're good.
Steve, on a 3rd and 13 deep and near the end zone,
Yeah.
what factors are you weighing in to where I'm going to blitz?
Yeah, that was to me that was a key play in the game, because it's I talked with you all before about the 4 most important series of the game, right? First and last of each half, and that was at the end of first and last of each half. So it's 4 series, and we didn't win that one. It led to we could have given our offense really good field position. I put that on me. We have played that particular coverage differently. Yeah. We were in something checked out. If I had to do it all over again, we wouldn't have gotten out of the original one because I thought we would have been in better shape. But we could play the coverage better. I mean, listen, they made a great throw. The kid had a good route. But listen, I can second guess myself on that as far as pressuring. And I just thought we'd stop them on a 3rd and 13, get them to punt the ball and have great field position, and didn't want to take the risk of something else happening. But it didn't work out quite that way.
Okay, cool.
Everybody good? All right, thank you.
All right, there's Steve Spagnuolo. Interesting there at the end. A lot of interesting stuff with that, but there at the end, which is a play that we've talked about a lot that I think was the biggest play of the game, 3rd and 13. And a good question there from Nick Jacobs of weighing the playing coverage versus going and blitzing. And he said they had a coverage and a call on. They checked into something else. Looking back, he wished they would have stayed in the original one. But his view was play back, everything in front of you, make the tackle, get the ball in good field position, not blitz and maybe give up a big play behind you. Fortunately, it did not happen either. Here's Juan Thornhill.
Well, I'm going to start off with a really odd question.
Okay.
You're going to Justin's tonight.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
When you guys go to these different places and you're watching football on Thursday night together, who puts on the best spread? Because Justin said he's going to try to top it tonight.
I mean, we only had a couple of them, so I mean, I hope Justin does put on a better spread than me, but we just try to keep it simple most of the time, just like eat some like pizza or something like that, and then just enjoy each other's company and watch football. That's pretty much it.
What's the value of it, though? I mean, are you studying the game, or is it more about fellowship than actually as a team looking at the 2 teams on the TV?
So the last time we did it, it was actually we were just watching the 2 teams that's on TV, just like hanging out with the guys, like building that relationship. But this time, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna watch a little bit of film together. And then watch the game, so we'll mix a little bit of both this time.
Coach Bag called Deebo Samuel a unique player.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch the film, what makes him unique?
I mean, it's obvious because of the fact that he's not just a receiver and he's not just a runner. He played both positions. You don't see a lot of guys that can actually do that and be very effective in both spots. So that's what makes him really effective and a really good football player.
What do you need to be aware of on the back end? Against this guy,
you got to know where he is at all times, because I mean he can beat you by himself. Honestly, like you watch film on him, the guy just creates like explosive plays like all over the place. He carrying the football in the backfield and then catching the ball and taking it 70 yards. So you just got to know where he is at all times.
Juan, you guys have played some of the best quarterbacks in the league so far through 6 games. I just wonder, is it surprising to you that as a collective unit in the secondary, you guys only have 1 interception?
I mean, it's been a little frustrating that we haven't gotten the interceptions that we want, but I feel like we really haven't had like a whole lot of opportunities. But the balls, they'll come. Like we just have to keep working. When they do come, we just got to make the play.
You had a play last week where obviously you knew Josh was targeting Stephon Diggs in the middle of the field. Obviously, it's like just a half second early on the penalty. How much goes through your mind when you see what the quarterback is seeing, and then obviously you know the ball's going to be in that spot?
I knew that I could get there and make the play, and I think the wind had a little bit like effect on the ball. Like I thought it was coming faster than what it was, so I broke really hard, but the ball was still floating. So you got to put the wind into that factor as well when it's time to make the play on the ball. But I felt like watching it, I probably could have like stepped in front of that ball and made a play, but Diggs did a good job, honestly, kind of like boxing me out and not allowing me to get to that point where I could pick it off.
When you study Garoppolo, Spags was talking about how when he was with the Patriots, they all looked like Tom Brady over there. When you look at him, what are the things you have studied that might help you be successful against him?
I mean, just like picking out some tendencies that they have. I don't want to give out all my tricks, but I mean, the guy's a really good quarterback. He knows how to find the open guy. He knows when to get rid of the ball and know when to throw it and when not to throw it. So he's a really good quarterback, and I mean, it seems like he learned very well from Tom Brady because he looks just like him.
Ryan, you guys talk a lot about not pointing fingers, not blaming, the next guy. But when you have a guy that gets beat, say like Joshua Williams last week, who's already one of the best wide receivers in the league, what's your message to him?
I mean, I would just tell him keep his head up because if you really watch the film, like he had really good technique. It was just like one small thing that allowed him to give up a touchdown. Like when he turned towards him, the ball was still selling. When he turned to him, it slowed him down a little bit. If he would have just flipped his head the other way, he would have probably intercepted that ball. I would just tell him what I just said basically to y'all, just turn the other way and you'll make that play. Just keep his confidence up and not knock him because, I mean, it's the NFL. Like, they're gonna win some plays and we're going to make some plays. So you can't get down on yourself.
Well, the way the 49ers offense is constructed, it's a lot of short stuff and they thrive on yards after the catch. As a safety, it means pretty much everything's in front of you. What kind of challenge is that?
I mean, it's a big challenge. I mean, just coming down, making a tackle, not missing tackles, and then like when that opportunity comes for them to take that deep shot, you got to make them pay. The biggest thing is just going to be tackling this week for sure.
You obviously spend more time with the guys off the field than on the field, but given it's his first 6 weeks, when he's trying to come back, just what have you learned about Trip McDuffie away from the field?
I mean, he's a really good guy. He's very smart. Like I said, like this defense that we're in is not easy because I was once a rookie and I struggled to learn it, and he picked it up pretty well. I take my hat off to him. He's a really good guy and he plays with a lot of confidence.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
All right, there's Juan Thornhill at the practice facility along with Steve Spagnuolo, Eric Bieniemy, and Dave Tobe as well. We are hanging out at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. Location here, 7320 West, 162nd in Overland Park, just south of 159th and Metcalf. We'll tell you more about all the really cool stuff going on here, memberships and giveaways that we have. We need to take a time out. We'll come back. We'll continue with the show, Sports or Leisure, at 1 o'clock. More right after this.
Want to see more of The Zone? Watch the show live on the Sports Radio 810 WHB Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. The Zone with Jason Anderson.
I was going to tell you when you came in here that there's going to be a time when I'm going to be at your house while you're asleep
on Sports Radio 810.
Total Performance Golf in Overland Park, our location today, 7320 West 162nd in Overland Park, just south of 159th and Metcalf.
You looked good. How'd it feel?
It's different.
Really?
Because like my regular grip and my regular feel for the swing, obviously I've never been coached before. Self-taught,
yeah,
no
obviously.
lessons. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Which also goes to show how inconsistent my game is. Because I've learned it all on my own. Oh, you learned to shoot 105 all on your own. That's right.
That's right. That's right. Pretty impressive.
What I learned is that scenic route. You guys pay a lot of money to get on this course and just go right down the middle. I want to see the whole thing.
I like to feel the trees.
You know, every time I play this course, I take a different route. You know,
That's nice,
you guys are on the same path. Nope. I can take a different route each time.
I'll also cross tease this. We pivoted the camera around.
Oh,
so
you
we have
did.
our camera out here live. Out
cool.
here on remote today, and so you could watch Jason be taught, see the scenery here at Total Performance Golf, and I think maybe next break I'll see if I don't know if I am below John's pay grade. I would be sort of like teaching golf to a baby, but if you teach golf to a baby, then next break maybe I'll see if I can follow up your performance with a significantly worse one.
He actually taught golf to Da Baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
it's a
really impressive.
A lot of work.
Duh,
but,
baby, Lil Baby, and now I'll be basically a baby.
Yes.
Is my rapper name.
Josh Babe.
Josh Baby.
Hey, baby.
Hey, just baby.
Hey, baby. You don't get that right.
I don't. I'm just having a nice time out here.
Stop selling weed. Total Performance Golf in Overland Park, where we are located today. They've got monthly membership discounts going on right now, $250 for the month, as opposed to usually it's $300 for the month. And boy, some awesome stuff that you get with that membership. You can work with John Richmond. He's the founder of Total Performance Golf, who I was just working with, who Dylan worked with, who Josh is going to take his maiden voyage with as well. Someone who's recognized nationally and regionally by his peers and national golf publications for his programs. John, not Josh.
Yeah, definitely not me.
Yeah. Private coaching available, everything you need right here at the facility. You can use the gym, the simulators at any time of the day. Gym access as well for the improved body mechanics and speed work. They've got member-only events that go on. They've got the 3D lesson app, which is essentially you're taking the coach everywhere you go with you, which is certainly good.
Just a
so
game changer. I mean, that, again, we were talking to John about it during a break an hour or so ago. The idea of being able to just have one of your buddies hold up, film you. Now you have something to work from. It's hard to watch the film if no one's there to record it and help you break it down that way. And the app being able to help you see that in 3D has to be a real game changer.
What do I need to do to perfect my swing? I don't know. What's your swing look like? I don't know either.
I've never seen it.
So it's a good point. He's like, when you're out on the range and like, you're just feeling it, right? You're hitting everything solid. It's flying straight. You got the right length with your clubs. You know, what are you doing? Well, you're feeling good. Next time you go there, you're not feeling as good. It's spraying it. What am I doing wrong? Well, one of those days you're feeling really good and you're hitting everything the way that you feel like you should. Boy, a little 3D of your, put the 3D app up there, get your swing. Now, the next time you go there and go, it just doesn't feel right. What am I doing wrong? Oh, wait, look, here's the 3D app again. Here's what I'm swinging right now. Oh, here's where I'm not turning my hips soon enough.
Nice to have the answers to your problem in your pocket. That's
Why am
cool.
I so stupid?
Yeah.
I just am very dumb. When it comes to stupid people, you are stupid. 913-912-4810. Do want to mention that Rashad Fenton, the only one that missed practice today. That means that Joe Tooney and Mike Dana were able to go out and practice, even if it's in or will
be in
practice, even if it's in a limited capacity. We'll see with the updates on the 49ers, what they will end up looking like with Trent Williams and Nick Bosa, both limited yesterday. Kyle Shanahan said yesterday that they're feeling better this week than last week, which is typically what would happen as you're recovering from an injury. So look, we'll see. They were limited. It wasn't a DNP. It wasn't a full practice. Today and tomorrow will go a long way to see if Trent Williams and Nick Bosa are going to be on the field for the 49ers. Charvarius Ward did not practice with the groin injury. Hufanga, the safety, did not practice with the concussion. He's still in concussion protocol. And so We'll see what Eric Armstead also did not practice yesterday, defensive tackle. He's got the foot injury, the ankle problem going on. So they've got some injuries, certainly, as we've talked about. They've got some injuries going on and guys that did not practice and are limited at practice. For the Chiefs, the Turk is out for the season. They're getting Gay back. They're probably getting hopefully getting Trent McDuffie back. And Joe Tooney and Mike Dana did practice. Fenton did not. But good if you get Gay and you know what? I'll make the trade. Willie Gay and Trent McDuffie for Rashad Fenton. I'm making the trade right now.
They needed to get at least one of those corners back, obviously.
Nice.
And McDuffie is still not a lock to return. I think I misread that one from the jump, to be totally honest. I felt like as soon as he was put on IR, my thought was, well, maybe the Chiefs are just being really cautious with their highest pick in this year's draft, and they don't want to rush him back or risk any aggravation of injury. But really, the Chiefs don't really operate that way very often.
No.
In the injury realm, Harrison Butker never went to the IR despite missing enough games ultimately that would have been the right thing to do, from a roster perspective, if you knew how long it was going to take. Even with other guys like Trey Smith misses a game and then is back with different injuries on either side. I was thinking that maybe the Chiefs are just being conservative and trying to protect McDuffie because the nature of his injury was he didn't get carted off, in a horrible fashion. And I just think it must have been a lot more serious than we ever really knew.
So,
Spags says he looked good out there so far. So that is a good note.
Which, yeah.
Hearing about how McDuffie performs in practice today would be nice. We'll see. But
yeah, Spags said both look good. Willie Gay and Trent McDuffie. He's going to have to meet with Rick on Trent just to see what the development is. He still feel good. Everything looked good for him.
And we because McDuffie has not been activated yet, he will not appear on the injury report until he's fully available or until he's fully on the active roster. Right now, he's still in that window. So we don't get limited participant, full participant, non-participant for McDuffie. We will for Willie Gay, and all of the other guys we've talked about.
Some texts that have come in throughout the show, 913-912-4810. This text says, and we were talking to Ken Swanson when this text came in. We were talking about running backs and things like that. Says, if Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't have a second gear, why not go with Pacheco, who runs hard and breaks tackles? Look, I'm all for it. I mean, if Edwards-Helaire isn't getting it done, I'm all for giving more carries to Pacheco. If he's not getting it done, then I'm all for seeing if Jerick McKinnon's going to get it done in the game. It certainly helped having Jerick McKinnon out there against the Raiders. The 30-yard run was a huge boost. I mean, Kelsey talked about what that run did for them. If you hand off to Edwards-Helaire there, is it a 5-yard gain, 6-yard gain? Or are they just simply doing the same things they're doing? I don't know. So it worked out in that situation and in that instance. Doesn't mean it's going to work like that constantly. I'm also in favor of giving a shot to Ronald Jones. I mean, if running back is part of the issue of whether it's scheme or offensive line, physicality, whatever it might be, if running back is a part of it to where Eric Bieniemy says, oh yeah, we left some yards out there. Now maybe he's saying we left some yards out there with how we blocked this guy right there.
Sure.
You get your hips turned there. You cut him off a little bit. Boom, that thing breaks open. We got a 12-yard gain instead it was 3. Okay, so it's not the running back's fault. It's this over there. Left some yards out there. I immediately think of when somebody says you left some yards out there, I think running back.
It's a team effort. It's a team. You can encompass everyone in that.
Absolutely. Sure. I mean, I'd be perfectly fine if Ronald Jones got some reps.
Yeah, me too. And like when Kit was talking about that, I trust Kit to be more honest with us than Eric Bieniemy. I don't know that he knows more than Eric Bieniemy, but I trust him to tell us more of what he does know. Bieniemy had some real state secret stuff today on the audible. Also, was that one an audible?
That would be the Burton screenplay that did not.
I'm gonna tell you that, Sam.
Yeah, result in a completion.
But like in terms of that texter's question, this is not my answer. I think this is the Chiefs' answer. They trust Clyde and they trust him in a larger variety of situations.
Yep.
I think they also trust McKinnon in a larger variety of situations, but I think for him, it is a pitch count. I just don't, I think that everyone, probably including McKinnon and Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid and Brett Veach, all kind of know McKinnon probably has a limited number of pitches in his tank this year. But if you put Isaiah Pacheco out there on 3rd and 7, do the Chiefs fully trust him to read his role in pass protection? Do they trust him as a pass catcher? I don't know. They do still trust Clyde all 3 downs if he needs to be out there, but McKinnon is their preferred pass pro guy, and I think Pacheco will get there. He has the size for it. He's been willing to do it. I just think it's a process on Pacheco. I have actually kind of turned the corner on thinking that he might actually – I don't know that he'll ever start a game over Clyde barring injury, but I think his role will increase over the rest of the year.
Yeah, and again, it's not like, okay, well, if you did this more with this running back, you'd be more successful because Jerick McKinnon got some reps in the game against the Bills.
Yep.
And the runs weren't successful.
Right.
He's gotten some short yardage situations, not successful. I know the people have said, if Isaiah Pacheco runs so hard and he's breaking tackles and he's running through guys, why not give him the short yardage situations? They have. He's had a second and goal where he got stopped. He had a 3rd and 1 where he got stopped. He had another 2nd and 1 where he got stopped and didn't pick up the first down. Now, we said others where he picked up the first down, a 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2, handed off, he picks up the first down, but it's not a one size fits all that, well, Pacheco runs hard and breaks tackles, so on 3rd and 1, you should give him the ball. They have, and they've been stopped. They've given the ball to Edwards-Helaire, and they've been stopped. They've given the ball to Jerick McKinnon on 2nd and 3rd and shorts, and they've been stopped as well. So they've tried different things, whether it's scheme or just incredibly generic running backs and no real dynamism in the backfield there. I mean, all of it could be the case, but I don't think it's one where it's 3rd and short, you got to put Pacheco in because he's going to get the job done. He's had some opportunities, not as many as Edwards-Helaire's had in his career.
But also one thing that's interesting to note is that Pacheco has had a lower quality of opportunity, a large part because it is those 3rd and shorts where he's faced more heavy boxes than anybody else has. And so, Pacheco runs into an 8-man box and picks up 2 yards and you go, okay, that was kind of disappointing. Let Isaiah Pacheco, I don't want to run the ball in first down and more often than I can help it, okay? But if you're going to run the ball in 1st and 10 or you're going to run it again on 2nd and 5, I would love to see Isaiah Pacheco get more series, and that seems to be how the Chiefs are kind of doing their swapping in and out. But I'd like to see Pacheco get more neutral run pass scenario carries and not when they're always telegraphing it so hard that it's going to be a handoff. I think Clyde gets a lot more of the open-ended sort of make the defense guess what you're going to do sort of carries, but that's partially going back to what I said a second ago. That is partially within the context of why the Chiefs keep going back to Clyde. Because when 25 is out there, the defense doesn't know where the play is going. I think Pacheco's working on that. I think McKinnon can also provide that. I also don't think there's a solution to that problem from like a talent perspective. It's terribly obvious, much like with George Karlaftis and Sky Moore. I also think that Isaiah Pacheco joins the class of rookies who are the most likely player to improve their position group more so than a Brian Burns or an Odell Beckham or a Christian McCaffrey.
What I took from all of that was Josh wants Pacheco to cook. Let more Pacheco, less Mahomes.
That's right. More Pacheco,
less Patrick.
Really just more generally running the football, specifically on 1st and 2nd down. Run, pass, punt was a real building block of my childhood. So
you know what I'm a fan of? 1st down incompletions, hand the ball off.
And I mean, at that point, once you have one incompletion,
here's the thing:
just ground and pound, baby.
If you're a coach, you know what you don't want to do? You don't want to go out there and have a 3 and out without running the football at least once.
You've got to run the ball.
So if you call a pass play on 1st down just to switch it up a little bit and it's incomplete, if you don't run the ball, then you're not going to do it on 3rd and 10. And now what? You just wasted downs where you could have run the football and really picked up a couple 3 yards and then punted on 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 10. It just makes no sense.
You're going to punt the ball on 3rd and 10. Soft. You punt the ball on 3rd and 7 after 2 failed running plays. You've imposed your will on the defense.
Exactly right.
I don't know why this football thing's not that hard, man.
Keep pounding it down their throat, and that 2nd down and 10 that was a 3-yard gain now turns into a 13-yard gain, and it's chess, not checkers.
Josh. That's exactly right. You've got to establish the run.
You got to establish your chess game as well.
You've got to establish the pawn, maybe. I'm not sure if that analogy works, but it seems close.
Tex says, we're giving away the foursome at Creekmore, foursome at Sycamore Ridge, a foursome at Tiffany Green. Says all these foursome giveaways seems like it's a party at Mick's house. No, I mean I don't know that that's the case, right? I mean he's played with twosome. He's played solo as well. On the golf course.
I'm sure, plenty. I'm sure.
Yeah, he goes out there by himself all the time and just plays. So
he's an avid golfer. I don't see the problem here.
Another text that came in when we were talking about working on your golf game and taking your coach with you. Me pointing out that Everett, learning to play the game of baseball, and he'll go out there and swing on the tee on his own into the net. And typically when I'm there, we're really actually working on some things and honing in on his swing. When he's out there, he's just swinging hard. We're probably not doing some of the things we taught or I've been trying to get him to do and teach him. Tex says, well, he'll need at least 1,500 at bats in the big leagues before we know what kind of hitter your boy is. That's true.
Great. It's a great text.
Absolutely true.
It's a very good text.
Yep. I don't even know what we're doing right now. It doesn't even matter what we do until he gets 1,500 at bats in the big leagues. Like, where he bats in the lineup for, fall ball, it's not really going to matter until he gets 1,500 at bats in the big leagues to know if he is in the right spot in the order.
I mean, look, the only other thing I would add is potentially you try to get that arm working so he can be a part of the currency of baseball. I mean, that's the only other thing that I would say. Maybe just take that bat out of his hand entirely and let him pitch.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen. I am raising an Ohtani here. Okay. I'm raising an Ohtani. This text comes in and it goes back to what we were talking about with video games at the beginning of the show. And I thought this was interesting because it kind of goes to what we were discussing. It says, many years ago, I was dragged kicking and screaming onto Facebook only to play Farmville. As I leveled up, I became obsessed, playing constantly, parentheses, I'm retired, and was setting alarms all hours of the night to wake up, harvest crops, and replant fields. I understand the sickness. That all-encompassing Farmville obsession forced me to quit cold turkey.
Well, Tex, so let me tell you about a wonderful little game called Stardew Valley. It's not quite as as encroaching on you as Facebook would be, of course. But
follow the show on Twitter at J810Anderson, at JB Brisco, at Beards McFly, and at Sports Radio 810. The Zone with Jason Anderson.
Nice job, Josh.
Nice job, Dylan.
Nice job, Christopher. Way to go, Beards.
Thank you. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you as we are hanging out today. A fantastic spot where we are at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park.
Out of 55.
The address is 7320 West 162nd. I had a texter and some people on Twitter. They're like, hey, looking for it on the map. Where is it at? I said, well, they just opened up. So type in the address, 7320 West 162nd in Overland Park. It is just south of 159th and Metcalf is where it is located. It's an awesome, awesome spot. They've got the membership specials going on right now. $250 for the month, normally $300 per month with the monthly memberships going on. And what that comes with is you get the coaching from John Richmond. You get to take advantage of all of the really cool stuff here, the simulator, the gym, as well, the 3D lesson app that which is, monthly online lesson, which is like $125 in and of itself. So boom, there you go with your membership. They got the watch list for improvement and training when you're practicing anywhere, anytime. You know what your swing looks like and know if you're swinging correctly. That's with the 3D lesson app. They've got the prepaid monthly simulator time, data tracking with Foresight, GC quads, access to all the swing training aids while at the facility as well. They've got member-only events. They've got a number of really cool stuff here. Like we said, if you're learning how to play golf, which is what Josh Brisco is right now, we've got the camera on him correctly. Or correct, I should say. We have the camera on him, and he's learning how to play. I think he has swung the club maybe 5 or 6 times in his life, and he is now swinging a golf club with good luck, John.
I'm just going to say real quick, I'm glad we just got that last shot on video where he completely missed the target and it went like straight up.
And then I think the one that, I don't know if you guys are, I don't know how live it is, but one right there just went straight right, I believe that was. And then he just waved his hands in the air like, oh, Christ, hit a house. Do something, man. Come on. Let's see this one. That's not bad. That rolled out there another 20, 25 yards. You're getting there. You know what? You're getting closer to the pin. That's what it's about. Just get closer each time you go. Josh, what do you want to say?
Coaching might work.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but teaching and coaching might matter.
Yeah.
In sports and life in general.
Tell that to the Broncos and Chargers. Actually, they agree with you. They also say.
I'm out here hacking it in, for sure. I can't hack.
That's right. Yeah, maybe you should stay, Lee, in your lane in talking and not golfing. 913-912-4810. So awesome stuff down here. Foursomes we're giving away as well at Creekmore, Sycamore Ridge, Tiffany Greens, Winterstone, a couple of $25 gift cards to Gravity Restaurant as well. So we've got we're going to play some sports or leisure coming up at 1 o'clock, which will be $25 to Johnny's Tavern. We'll be giving away with some sports or leisure. Got some NFL questions, got some questions left over from last week, got some questions about Chiefs and 49ers players as well in sports or leisure. And looking at the press conferences from the Chiefs, Bieniemy and Spagnuolo and Juan Thornhill, along with Dave Tobe, we didn't get a chance really to expand a whole lot on what Eric Bieniemy said. And I know we don't have a lot of time here, but just a few quick points. He wants to get a rhythm with the running backs. Like, we talked about the running game, go with the hot hand, got to find those guys that do that. They left a lot of yards out there in the running game. He expects the guys this weekend, because of how they played and the way they lost against the Bills, to come out and play with you-know-what and vinegar. He's expecting that. And then one of the interesting things he said is that, they're still like looking for an identity. He said they had it at one point. Now they have to re-identify with what their sort of identity is on offense. That's interesting. They have seen so many different defenses, but also those defenses with Tyreek Hill, with a certain offensive line with Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz, and then you change out your offensive line, you see different defenses. Now Tyreek Hill is not there as well, and you got different wide receivers, and looking for that identity to where, what is it, when is it going to come? Well, you've got 11 games left. So you got 11 games, 12 weeks left to figure that out before you get into the postseason. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back and wrap up this hour. We've got sports or leisure coming up at 1 o'clock. More Zone next.
You're in the zone on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Kansas City. And now, on Sports Radio 810 Sports Center.
This Sports Center is brought to you by Ferguson. Ferguson is currently seeking appliance installation technicians with both entry-level and advanced levels of experience, with starting pay rate $23 an hour and a $1,000 sign-on bonus. Go to 810WHB.com, Community Job Connections, and click on the Ferguson link to apply. The Chiefs and 49ers are around the corner on Sunday afternoon. The Chiefs back to a 3.5-point favorite on the road in San Francisco. The biggest news of the week so far is all on the injury front. Rashad Fenton, the one player not expected to practice on the active roster for the Chiefs today. But yesterday for the Niners, Eric Armstead, Samson Ebukam, Talona Hufanga, and Mike McGlinchey, along with Charvarius Ward, did not practice. But Nick Bosa was a limited participant, as was tackle Trent Williams. More sports or leisure on the other side of the break here in the Zone on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
You're into sports, but nothing wrong with a little leisure time. Why not both?
You're going to have a heart attack by the time you're 40 if you don't learn to relax.
It's time for sports or leisure on the Zone with Jason Anderson.
All right, playing a little sports or leisure. Who was it that's in concussion protocol for the 49ers, Josh?
Their wonderful safety, Hufanga, as you've been calling him. What was his first name? I can't remember.
I'm just waiting for you to tell me.
Keep waiting.
Talanoa Hufanga?
Talanoa.
Hufanga.
2 A's at the beginning there. Hufanga, I would have gotten if I wasn't rattled by
Hufanga,
myself.
you.
Yeah, I really did to Hufanga myself.
More like
there.
you who funged up his name.
I would like for you to Talanoa one.
Okay. We're playing sports or leisure. 913-3.
We're out of puns, so there's no other choice.
Is the phone number to play a little sports or leisure. $25 to Johnny's Tavern is on the line. $25 to Johnny's Tavern. You get a sports question, you get a leisure question. You get them both right, you win. Either of them wrong, you lose, but that's okay. Someone can call in and request it. It's okay for other people, maybe not for you, but you know what? You're helping them out along the way. It takes a village sometimes. And so we do not give out the answers to the questions until they are either answered by a contestant or we're out of time to play the game. 913-3810810. We're hanging out at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park today until 2 o'clock. The address is 7320 West 162nd in Overland Park, just south of 159th and Metcalf. And really cool. If you're learning to play golf, if you're trying to get a little bit better, need some coaching, need to make your swing a little bit better, Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. And it's named appropriately because it is the total part of your learning or getting better at the game of golf. John Richmond, the founder of Total Performance Golf, recognized nationally, regionally by his peers and national golf publications for the programs as well, and private coaching available, monthly memberships. You can use the gym and the simulators at any time of the day here at Total Performance. They've got the membership promos and specials going on right now. And you could also check out the 3D Lesson app, a monthly online lesson with watch list for improvement and training. When you're practicing anywhere, anytime, you know that you are swinging correctly. And so that's a big deal for going out and practicing, knowing what you're actually going to be practicing.
You and Dylan are both in that space of like, I want to get a little better, kind of get some of my mechanics together, and try to be a little more consistent when you're actually out there playing golf. Mm-hmm. I have been trying to figure out if playing golf is anywhere in my life at any point. And I will tell you, dead serious, just nothing but the facts here, sir. That last 10-minute stretch was probably my first positive golf club swinging experience. And I want to go back over there now. I would like for you to finish the rest of the, I would rather for you to finish the rest of this hour by yourself so I can go play golf. And I have never at any point in my life ever wanted to do anything involving actually swinging a golf club because I'm just horrible at it. But John gave me like the building blocks of what exactly I could do to kind of spruce things to get my core right,
your core.
The base fundamentals. And now I feel like, I'd like to get some more time on the simulator. And then at some point, a little bit down the road, I might be able to go out there and at least not make your and Kent's life harder, for trying to really hit the links. But this is the closest I've ever been to being like, oh, you know what?
See,
I understand why it's fun now.
See,
I did not understand that 15 minutes ago.
Absolutely. And with the Sportsbox 3D app, you can really improve wherever you are. If you're here, if you're in a different city, I don't know, country as well.
Sure.
You know, the Sportsbox 3D app, you get the monthly review, watch list updated quarterly, Zoom reviews to reinforce the concepts, set the goals. They've got private messaging as well. So you got a coach no matter where you live.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you can take advantage of that. That's pretty awesome that with Total Performance Golf in Overland Park, you can do that as well.
This is just my selfish perspective again, but I am very impressed by how quickly you can begin having fun swinging a golf club. That is just a turnaround for me that frankly I thought I might disappoint Kent for a lifetime on that front.
Well, you're still going to do that, just not from the wanting to play golf perspective.
Thank you very much. That's absolutely true. I will disappoint you and Kent and Beards plenty. But maybe it won't be on the golf front. I'm having a good time out here.
Next movie reference I bring up, disappointed yet again.
Yeah, well, then maybe I can go lose to you at golf and make you feel a little better.
that believe me, if there's one thing that I am looking forward to really boosting the ego, it's beating Josh at golf.
Well, hey, give me a little while, man. I might, get my little membership, and all of a sudden it'll be like we get out there and we go, wow, I can't. Josh, you've never played before? Never in my life.
He's hustling everybody. All of a sudden, he's playing a $10 a stroke.
Wow. That's right.
This guy is just taking everybody's money. All right, so the categories today, the phone number 913-3810810. Categories on the sports side, we've got Chiefs and Bills, which are players that played for both the Chiefs and the Bills. We've got a category called 49 Chiefs, which is just, Chiefs and 49ers players that played for both.
Dan Sorensen.
Yep.
He wore 49.
No,
right. Did I steal an answer from you?
No, every single answer is Dan Sorensen. So maybe you should call in and request that
the Dan Sorensen
category.
Question. Yeah.
Can I get the Dan Sorensen answer? Yeah, absolutely. So we also have some more questions from 99 Problems, but a touchdown isn't one.
Yes.
And then we have college football and some NFL as well. So there you go. What about leisure?
On the leisure side, we have what I'm upgrading to the final boss Marvel questions. These are the ones that have made it to this point that I have not yet gone to because they seem difficult. But if you are a Marvel, specifically an MCU fan, you might have a shot. Then we have commonly misspelled word spelling bee. We have Let's Get Greeky about Greek mythology and whatnot. Of course, the pun name game freshened up. Just right and special for some of the things happening around here in the last couple of weeks. And then the return of 4th grade U.S. history. Can you tell us some basic things that may embarrass you for not knowing them? That's one of your category options.
I can't tell you those, which is going to be embarrassing.
It certainly will be.
Which is why I don't play. I just ask the questions. That's all.
The way to do it. And then afterwards you go, oh, yeah, I knew that one. And then no one can really ever fact check you.
So Beards, how's the connection right now? You say it's starting to get rough. Or are we burping? Are we cutting up? Are we robotic?
I haven't burped into my headphones once today.
This moment right now is better than it was about 5 seconds ago.
I love that attitude, Beards. I love that. This moment right now is better than it was 5 seconds ago. And I bet in 5 seconds, it'll be a better moment than this one was.
Way to go.
That would be true so far.
Wow. Way to go through life.
It is. Beards is, Beards. He's an optimist back there. He puts on his rose-colored glasses every morning and he walks out his front door ready to have the best 5 seconds of his life.
And then after that, a better 5 seconds.
It's incredible how he does it.
Be a goldfish, man. All right, 913-3810810. That's the categories. I'm ready to go and play. Josh, you good to go?
I'm good to go. Beards, you ready to go?
I'm doing better than I was 15 seconds ago.
So close.
I'll take it. Still a win, Beards. Still a good line.
Got Rick Pitino over here.
Whoa.
All right, who leads us off, Beards?
First is Avery.
All right.
I'm just kidding, Beards. It's fine.
Avery, what's up, man? Lead us off. Where do you want to start, sir?
Get Greeky with it.
Ooh, let's get Greeky.
He's a big Greek mythology. Every time he's called in, he's been given the Greek questions. So. We didn't even have a category one time, and he asked for Greek mythology.
One Greek myth's name is a little less well known than the common English word derived from his name, but he eventually died after falling in love with his own reflection, prompting him to stare at it for the remainder of his life. You can either give me the name of that character or the word that has come from that tale.
Narcissus, an echo, narcissistic.
If you want to get it 3 or 4 more times, feel free, but that absolutely will do. Avery is a real expert in both Greek mythology and himself, which is making me ask some questions about you, Avery.
Well, not really, because he tells everybody how great he is about that, which makes him a narcissist.
Don't look in the mirror too long in the morning, all right? I'm worried about you.
That's right. All right, on to the sports side, sir. What category?
Let's do 49er Chiefs.
Yeah, 49 Chiefs, whatever. That's fine. There are 3.
Name 49 Chiefs now.
Go.
49 Chiefs quarterbacks that also quarterbacks the 49ers.
That's pretty much, yes. There are
There's
three.
about that many.
Yeah, there are three current players on the rosters, both the rosters of the 49ers and the Chiefs. Three current players on the rosters of the two teams that played for the other. Name two of the three players that are on the rosters that played for the other team.
So Charvarius Ward.
That is one. Name one of the other two.
Whew. Oh, and running back, number one for the Chiefs.
And in my heart. And in my heart.
Mick
Schaefer.
Geez, what's his name? McKinnon.
There we go. Boom.
Do you guys want to put your heads together and figure out who the third one is?
I immediately had Ward. It took me a minute on McKinnon. And you want to give us the team he's on now?
Chiefs.
He's a current Chief that was recently.
Not active.
Is it Wiley?
Oh, not active.
Oh, he's not active.
He's not active right now. He would be if it weren't for, an injury. It's Blake Bell. Let's move on. Avery.
When was Blake Bell a 49er?
When he played in San Francisco.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Avery, you are a winner, sir. Congratulations. $25 to Johnny's Tavern heading your way. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, sir.
Winner, David Schwimmer. Thanks, guys.
God, he's such a narcissist.
I had no idea that he started as a Niner.
Yep.
I know Blake Bell's
drafted by the
career.
Niners.
I know Blake Bell's career in Kansas City, leaving for Dallas, then coming back to Kansas City and OU. But that's
Blake Bell played at Oklahoma and then 3 years in the NFL, according to you.
Yes, correct. Also, a year with the Vikings for a future trivia question, and then his year with the Jags, which I think I knew, but
sure
didn't.
Did you say that Ray is up next?
No, I said that I'm ready. Lucas is up next.
Very good. That's close. Yes, Lucas, go right ahead, sir. What side do you want to start with?
Oh, you said you had general NFL, right?
We do have general NFL. That's correct. Is that
yeah,
what
let's put over there.
I figured that's probably what you wanted if you asked if we had that category. Let's go with this one. What two franchises? Because the Chiefs are facing off against the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo's there. We've seen quarterbacks change. Russell Wilson now playing for the Broncos. A lot of those things have taken place. So tell me, what two franchises have the most players that have started week one for both teams? Quarterbacks. I should say quarterbacks. Sorry. What two franchises have the most quarterbacks that have started week one?
The largest number of week one starting quarterbacks
for
in
two
NFL history.
For a combination of two. So like the Broncos and Seahawks would be a combination for Russell Wilson. If Drew Lock were to start, the Broncos and Seahawks would then have two.
So what two teams share the most week one starting quarterbacks?
That's better.
Got it. Okay.
That's better.
Wow. That was confusing.
Sorry. I was trying to figure out the best way to go that route. So hopefully the 5 different ways we phrased it, one of them made sense to you.
I'm just going to have to take a stab and go with the 49ers and the Chiefs.
That's correct.
That's okay, good. All right. It seemed like that was really telegraphed there. So
it
that's
is the
good.
49ers and the Chiefs. Now I need you to name the 5 quarterbacks that have started week one for both the Chiefs.
All
and the
5.
Every of the 5. No, that's fine.
Josh Brisco,
That's
Jason
me.
Anderson.
Boom.
2, and we need 3 more.
And then Alex Smith, Joe Montana, Beards McFly,
Steve Bonneau, Elvis Gerbabach.
They really just run a heater there for a while, huh?
And Steve DeBerg.
Boy, I mean,
So if you want to go in order, it was Steve DeBerg, Joe Montana, Steve Bono, Elvis Gerbach, Alex Smith. Starting.
So when do we get Trey Lance?
You mean Jimmy G?
Yeah.
You mean Jimmy G, right? That's who.
Trey Lance started this season. I don't the first game of the year. I don't know about you.
I know, but so has Jimmy Garoppolo. He started game 1.
The Chiefs and Niners traded 2 quarterbacks named Steve and never got the good one here in town. How did that happen?
That's right.
What are you looking for on the leisure side here? We've got final boss Marvel questions, the misspelled word spelling bee, Greeky, and the pun name game and U.S. history.
I'll take your Marvel.
Okay, that's a marvel to me. What was the name of the planet that Hulk was sent away to at the end of Ultron, at the end of Age of Ultron, and was later joined by Thor during Thor Ragnarok? The name of the planet in question.
Such a stupid planet.
God, what a stupid planet. That's such a stupid planet. I hate that planet. So stupid.
Sakar.
Unbelievable. The people, yes, that is, you are correct. Sakar. I already deleted it because I Sakaar. I had it highlighted because I believed in you and you nailed it. That's a winner right there. Enjoy some Johnnies for us.
Lucas, well done. Back-to-back winners here on Sports or Leisure. We'll put you on hold. Get your information, Lucas. Congrats. There we go.
This is a disorienting way to do the questions. The ones that have a lot of the ones that intern Dylan did back in the day, I would have gotten the answers to. Now we are fully out of my realm, and so I'm really letting Dylan, not this Dylan here, but former intern Dylan, send people to Johnny's, or maybe Sakar.
That's a stupid planet.
It's such a
nobody wants to go there. All right, who?
No one's ready yet.
I'm sorry.
I am ready. I am ready. Don't. Nope. You were good.
We were good.
Wow, that was a voice crack.
Yeah, Carl Sheffer is at the board. Carl, who's up next?
There's nobody on hold to play Sports or Leisure. First
up
down.
next is John.
John, welcome into the show, sir. What side would you like to start with, the sports side or the leisure side?
Let's start with sports, and I'll do Chiefs 49ers also.
Okay, very good. I'm looking through here, and I totally gave away one of the questions by naming off the quarterbacks that were this instead of just going, yeah, it was Chiefs 49ers.
Were you paying attention?
Well, yeah, because it was a different area of my question. So I'll go with this one. This ends up being you know what? I'll come up with a number of others, but let's go with this one. These two busts as first-round wide receivers were exchanged in your traditional, maybe our trash is your treasure.
Oh, man.
Trade.
I will never forget this trade. We talk about this trade like once every few months, I feel
Hey, our first-round wide receiver isn't any good. Neither is yours. You want to try, see if ours works better with yours and yours works better with ours? Let's do it.
Gosh, this is I totally remember this. I can't think of who it was. I don't know if
they're forgettable names. That's the thing.
Also, here's your hint. Neither one of them really did any differently at the other place.
Well,
I don't think either one of them got a second year there.
That's why you don't remember the names.
I kind of feel like we were real excited when we got this 49ers guy and he's not doing squat, if I remember right.
Where did he go to school? Is he in Illinois? Is he in a Lion?
I actually do not. I do not know.
I know that the other one was a Panther. Was a Pitt Panther. Better than Larry Fitzgerald, you heard.
The guy that the Chiefs drafted was
going to be better than Fitzgerald.
They traded him after 2
So that's
years.
Jonathan Baldwin.
Yes.
Well done.
Correct.
I was thinking that was too long ago. I was feeling like that trade was more recent, but okay.
John Baldwin, that would have been after the 2012 season. So, God, Andy Reid and John Baldwin, just two ships passing.
Yeah, he did go to Illinois. All right, nailed it.
You know what? The other guy, the guy they got from the Niners, actually spent 2 years with the Chiefs.
See, it worked out well for them. 2 weeks versus 2 weeks.
It's not going to come to me. I don't got him.
All right, somebody right now is on hold listening with just drool because this trade will, for whatever reason, will never fully leave my mind.
John, thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it, sir. 913-381-810 is the phone number, and somebody will call in and tell us who the other receiver is.
Ready.
That went to Illinois and then San Francisco.
They gave up on John Baldwin so fast.
Well, I think they saw it pretty quickly.
No, I know. I wish they would have seen it 2 years earlier.
Kind of a mistake.
Just in the pre-draft process, and I wish they would have noticed it.
We were told he was better than Fitzgerald.
He played 26 games.
All right, Beards, who is up next?
Sean.
Sean, welcome into Sports or Leisure, sir. What side would you like to start with?
Hey, how's it going?
It is going fine, man. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Hey, can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Sure.
There's 2 Chiefs right now in the top 7 for touchdowns in 2020-22. Do you know which 2 they are?
Edwards-Helaire and Kelsey.
That would be my guess.
Edwards-Helaire.
That's right.
You guys keep bashing him, man. He's got 5 touchdowns.
He does.
Touchdowns get the chips.
He does.
Touchdowns get the chips.
If he was just a little bit better between the 20s, he might have more touchdowns.
You're right,
hey, look, he's on my fantasy team. I don't mind him getting all the reps when they win. But when they lose a close game and he's the one getting the lion's share. Hey,
I was waiting to see if Braden was going to show up.
Yeah, nice job, Beards. Well done. Way to be on top of it. Sean, what side do you want to start with, sir?
I actually drafted him in a lot of my best balls. So
well,
those touchdowns are treating you well. You know?
That's exactly right.
And you know what? I care, Sean.
See, I care too.
Take
Sean.
that, Braden.
I don't care what Beard says.
All right, I think
people
I
do
want
care.
to.
Going where first?
I was gonna go to the 99-yard, but I'm gonna go ahead and snatch that trade for trade wide receiver question real quick.
Yeah, who did they get back in the John Baldwin trade to the 49ers?
Man, I really like John Baldwin too, and they got back A.J. Jenkins.
That's right.
That's great. Where did he go to college, though? That's what I
the
really,
real question.
that's a
No
real
one
question.
knows.
Where did, it's a mystery. Mystery. On to the leisure side with Josh.
You got a category in mind?
Let's just do spelling.
Okay, let's spell this. This is a word that I hate. I try to avoid spelling it when possible. This little part here is always a question for me. Please spell the word vacuum.
VACUUM.
There you go.
These the double. You know, if I give you a word with double letters in it, it's because I struggle with it personally.
Here's the thing. The words that Josh gives are the words that he actually struggles with.
What it really is, completely honestly, is I looked up a list of commonly misspelled words, and then I picked the ones that I was like, yeah, I can't spell that on my first try very often, and then so I took those. So it's really a double vetted process.
Awesome. Sean, congratulations. $25 Johnny's Tavern is yours, bud.
I always pick the spelling because I was always really good at spelling, and I won a couple spelling bees back in elementary school. So
how about that?
Next time, Sean, you're getting supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I can't even pronounce it.
SUPERCALA.
All right, thanks, guys.
He got bored. Sean got bored of the guy.
C.
Thanks, Sean.
EXPALLODACIOUS.
I think you said 4 L's there, so you actually that's
Dang
actually
it.
incorrect.
One more. There was one less L. There's only
actually
3 L's.
There's actually 14 L's.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Waiting for the
yeah, we could just talk
all
amongst
clear
ourselves.
from beers.
Dylan, how are you feeling about your golf swing today? Give me like a gesture that sort of that's how you're feeling with the coaching that you received today, not about yourself, because I know that golf's a cruel game.
Yeah.
He gave us a kind of the okay emoji of like chef's kiss, sort of like kind of excellent.
Worked well.
But I could tell that he is now. I think what Dylan has realized is that his golf game wasn't as good as he thought it was when he got here. Yep, he just nodded at that. That is where we are at. Room to grow, man. And room to grow is a good thing.
You know what? Acknowledging the issue is the first step of getting better.
Yeah, that's exactly
You've
right.
acknowledged that you need work in your golf game.
All right, hurry up and take this next call so I can go hit some more during the break.
Beards, who's next?
I'm a golf guy now.
Up next is Andrew.
Andrew, sports or leisure? What side do you want to start with, sir?
I've got to try to finish off Marvel.
Okay. What is the name of the country that is destroyed in Avengers Age of Ultron?
Sokovia.
How do you people know these things?
Because they're all stupid planets.
This is unbelievable. That's a fake country.
That was easy.
Oh, it's a country, sorry.
That was easy.
I didn't know that was easy. You get an easy final boss question, I suppose, because I had no idea. Good work. Wow, the confidence.
All right, on to the sports side, sir. We've got, let's see, Bills and Chiefs. We got 49 Chiefs. We've got general NFL. We have as my 99 problems, but a touchdown isn't one. College football. What are you thinking?
Let's do 49 Chiefs.
All right, 49 Chiefs. We know that D Ford played for both the Chiefs and the 49ers, but they traded him to the 49ers. Who did they draft in the D Ford pick?
Lord.
Draft for the D Ford pick.
You might have to remind us what they got back in return. You don't have to do it just.
They got a second rounder.
Okay, I was thinking it was a second round pick, but I didn't want to put that out.
They traded him.
Oh yeah,
in
19
for a 20 second round pick.
Okay, hold on.
So that was pretty good hints.
Yeah, it sure is.
22nd round pick. But then
I didn't know the draft went 22 rounds.
Stupid. I didn't realize that pick was that. I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense. The years start blurring together in the Bright Beach area.
Yep.
Oh, it was a second round pick. I was about to. Okay. So that would have been the year we drafted Clyde first.
Don't remind Josh.
Yep. No, you're on the right track though.
Yeah. Was it receiver? Was it? Let's go McCole Hardman.
Nicole is incorrect, sir. Not McCole Hardman. Thank you for playing, man. Really appreciate it. We are going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue rolling with some more sports or leisure. We are hanging out at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. If you're looking to improve your golf game, start your golf game, become even better at golf, Total Performance Golf in Overland Park, our location today. It is the spot for you. 7320 West 162nd in Overland Park, just south of 159th and Metcalf. They've got the membership specials going on and all of these really awesome things you can do with the simulators. The coaching from John Richmond is available as well. Founder of Total Performance Golf, recognized nationally with, by his peers from the national golf publications for his programs and things like that. The 3D lesson app that they have, which is remote online coaching as well. Sportsbox 3D app that they have, one online monthly review with watch list updated, quarterly Zoom reviews to reinforce concepts and set goals. They've got private messaging. They coach no matter where you live. You live here, you live in a different city, you live in Sukar, a stupid planet, as long as you've got the internet connection or 5G, I don't know what they have. You can also
alien
be
Wi-Fi is crazy.
Is it though?
Yeah, alien Wi-Fi is incredible.
They probably are more
It's kind of
advanced.
like being in the future, learning golf in it is legitimately crazy. I like, we've talked about video games today.
What?
The VR side of things and all that. This is really it's incredible to feel a club in your hand, feel the ball, and then all you have to do is look up at the screen and then the ball is right there in front of you again. It's nice to not have to go walk over and pick up my mistakes.
For you, it's probably going to be incredible to feel the club in your hand since it's the first time.
It's truly incredible to feel the club in my hand and then hit a golf ball and not slide over the top of it or underneath.
When you picked up the golf club, did you go right for the baseball?
Yes.
Grip.
Yeah, I immediately was like, all right, go ahead, John, toss me one. And he's like, that's not how the sport works.
Side toss.
And it was like, it's taking BP.
Side toss.
It's like, you want to bring the tee out for this or anything? And then it was a little small
He's sitting on the bucket.
Yeah.
Sitting on the bucket, and he's just doing some side toss with you, and you're just swinging through. Hands to the ball, level swing, hands to the ball.
That was before I got here.
Okay.
Now, when I leave here today, I'm going to be able to say that I have a path to not embarrassing myself.
Okay. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue rolling. We are hanging out at Total Performance Golf. Sports or leisure continues. More zone right after this.
Follow the show on Twitter at J810 Anderson, at JB Brisco, at Beards McFly, and at Sports Radio 810.
day.
The Zone with Jason Anderson.
That's half of it, right?
That's half of it. We got a leisure question. You want to go Trivindiana, Marvel questions, spelling bee, or fourth grade U.S. history, or Beards' Game of Thrones question?
Those are serious categories?
Those are all serious questions. Yep. Only serious categories around here.
Weekdays from 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Josh Brisco, Beards. We are hanging out today at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. 7320 West 162nd in Overland Park is the location, just south of 159th and Metcalf. Total Performance Golf, and it is total when it comes to you improving your golf game, learning how to play golf, like Josh over here at the break, though.
I'm having fun.
Better.
I'm not gonna say that I would, be a good partner at this point in my golfing career, but I can see the light now, and it legit just having a good time. It's just fun to get out there and hack it and to just try to figure out what I've been doing wrong this time so far, or what I can do right to maybe make myself a playable partner. I'm having a good time here, man.
All right, 913-381-810. We're playing some sports or leisure. $25 at Johnny's Tavern is what we're giving away for those that get a sports and a leisure question correct. You get $25 to Johnny's Tavern. Resetting the categories, we've got Chiefs Bills. We've got 49 Chiefs and 49ers players. We've got 99 problems, but a touchdown isn't one. Touchdowns that are 99 yards or longer. We have general NFL, some college football as well. What about on the leisure side, Josh?
We have the final bosses of the Marvel Cinematic Universe questions. We've got the commonly misspelled word spelling bee. We have Let's Get Greeky, some Greek mythology, fourth grade U.S. history, and of course the pun name game.
All right, very good. Beards, who do we go to next?
Up. Hang on. There we go.
Hanging on.
Up first is Paul.
Paul, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with, sir?
Hey, I will try that D Ford question.
Yes, absolutely. D Ford was traded to the 49ers. They got a second-round draft pick for him. Who did the Chiefs select with their second-rounder?
Willie Gay Jr.
That is correct. Willie Gay. My next hint was going to be three-letter names. Gay. But yes, Willie Gay. Would you have made that trade right then? Say, you know what, we'll give you D Ford and we'll take Willie Gay.
If we knew who Willie Gay was going to be,
but I mean,
who he was,
you know now,
yes,
right? Because you get a cheaper player who went on the field, has been pretty darn good.
The one of those that really tested me was Marcus Peters turning into Juan Thornhill. I miss Marcus Peters every day. I will not apologize for that, but I also am really glad Juan Thornhill's on the Chiefs. So
there you go.
Say Levy.
Yeah. All right, leisure side with Josh Paul.
You got a category, Paul?
Let's go puns.
Oh, let's do the pun name game. We recently saw the exit and then return of this Dolphins backup quarterback. As long as he wasn't watching the 1995 Kevin Costner film that takes place in the distant future after the melting of the polar ice caps, I'm sure he'll be ready for the next game.
I know the second part of that.
Oh, really? Oh, then you're going to get the first part super soon. This is good. I think Jason's got the first part.
Read it again.
Okay. Teddy Bridge Waterworld.
That's correct. Teddy Bridge Waterworld is there's your proof of concept. If you're listening on hold right now and wondering about the pun name game, if you feel like you have the patience for Teddy Bridge Waterworld,
why wouldn't you?
Then that's what you have waiting for you.
Which, by the way, Waterworld underrated.
I've heard that. Of course, I've not seen the film, but I've heard that it's underrated.
So people would widely regard it as one of the worst movies ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe I know it as a cult classic of some sort.
Right. It's usually like, what's the worst movie ever? Well, Waterworld. It's terrible. Now, it might be because of maybe the cost it took to make this movie and then the money that it brought back and the reviews that it got or lack thereove. I liked it.
Okay.
I was fine with it. I watched Waterworld and go, you know what? I wasted 2 hours of my life. No, that wasn't the case. I watched it. I'm like, I'm entertained. Plus, it's, Brother Costner.
Maybe it's gotten a kinder review in more recent times.
Because also like Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 45%, 43%. That wouldn't be considered one of the worst movies of all time.
And
right?
also, this probably doesn't, at least the audience score probably doesn't consider reviews when it actually came out pre Rotten Tomatoes.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I think
Rotten
that it's
Tomatoes wasn't out. When?
I don't believe Rotten Tomatoes came out. It was out in 1995 or whatever.
Oh, wow. Okay. So like a year later, maybe?
Yeah, probably 97, maybe.
Okay. Boy,
at most.
The amount of time it took to dial up the Rotten Tomatoes website. All right. Who is up next?
Up next, we have got Derek.
Derek, go right ahead, sir. What side do you want to start with?
Let's try Star Sports and let's do the Chiefs Niners, please.
Chiefs Niners for you. This is where I actually run into an issue because I was going to come.
How long have you been listening today?
I was going to come up with some Niners, Chiefs Niners questions on the fly, and you know what? I think I can. Hold on. Give me a second. I got to just pull something up real quick.
Man. We're sports on the fly. I'm just stalling. This is all me stalling for you while you pull things together.
Here we go.
You don't have to fight me on it. I'm just here to help.
The Chiefs had a very famous bad run of defensive tackles that they selected in the first round. This person was supposed to be the answer, not Ryan Sims. He was supposed to be the answer to the defensive tackle issues. It never happened. He played 5 years in Kansas City somehow, and then he ended his career in San Francisco.
Oh, I really want to say Glenn Dorsey.
Just say it. Just say it.
So I'm going to say Glenn Dorsey.
That is correct, Glenn Dorsey. Had I had more time to think of that, I might have come up with a different way of phrasing that. Maybe not as easier of it, but I'm like, you know what?
I'm just glad to get Glenn Dorsey's name on the show today. I was excited about that pick.
He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, man.
LSU
won the Outland Trophy, the Lombardi Award, the Bronco Nagurski Award.
We could do a whole Chiefs LSU defensive line busts.
We could
category.
name any other.
I can't think of anyone who went third overall like 2 years later.
Nope, not at all. They didn't keep searching.
Tyson Jackson ended his career in Atlanta, I believe.
Name another one.
that is actually the end of my list.
Derek, on to leisure side with Josh.
Marvel, spelling bee, Greek mythology, the pun name game, or U.S. history.
You could come up with another category like spit hoods and stuff also. But
okay.
I'll do famous 49ers is my other category. I'll look it up.
Let's do spelling, please.
All right, here's another one that really just freaks me out every time I see it. So go ahead and spell the word scissors.
Oh, there you go.
Scissors. Oh, let's see. SCISSORS.
There you go.
You guys really making this look easy.
Yeah. Turns out you're just a dumb speller.
I really am, man.
From a stupid planet.
I thought I was a good speller from a cool planet. Turns out I'm a bad speller from a stupid planet.
That's right.
That's a winner.
And Derek is heading to Johnny's Tavern, $25 heading your way.
JOHNNY_S.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you playing, man. 913
TAVERN.
3-810-810. Did you use two N's there?
Yeah, Tavern.
No, I mean on Johnny's.
I think so. I think I got it right.
I hope so.
Me too.
913-3-810-810 is the phone number to play a little sports or leisure. I'm going to try to come up with another Chief and 49er on the fly.
They wiped out the category.
Did.
There's no shame in that. Sometimes the category has to be let go, much like maybe one more day of Marvel questions.
Is that right?
There are only two remaining.
Wow. Okay.
One of them actually is like kind of a finale. One of them I just probably wouldn't have actually known, but
it's weird that I worked last week a lot harder on the Bills and Chiefs category.
Yep.
And I had one person ask a question. So I worked less hard this week on 49 Chiefs. And that's what everybody's asking for. So you just never know.
You should have come up with 49 different answers, different questions then.
I agree with that. I should have. But of course, the harder I work on a category, the less it is chosen.
Let me tell you about a little category called the pun name game.
That's right. Because you do work hard on it.
Those are the only ones that really, you got to put some effort into sometimes. And then sometimes I sit there for long enough that, they might not be as newsworthy as they were once. That's how it works. That's us playing sports or leisure.
Who is up next, Beards?
Up next, we have got Shane.
All right. Shane, sports or leisure. What side do you want to start with, bud?
Well, I did want to do one of those 49 Chiefs questions, but they're all out.
Sorry.
How about? Can you give me the sports again? I know what leisure I want to do.
Yeah, no, you're good. We've got Chiefs and
Sports
Bills.
category.
We've got 99 problems, but a touchdown isn't one. We have NFL, and then we have college football.
Let's do the 99 problems.
All right. 99 problems, a touchdown is not one. So how old are you when it comes to watching the Chiefs? Or just how old are you? And then, that'll tell me how long you've been watching the Chiefs.
I'm 43.
43. So around my age. So I'll give you I'll give you this question, and then if you have no clue, I'll throw another one your way. So I have no problem doing that. Since 1980, who is the only other defensive player drafted by the Chiefs to have a 99-yard interception return or longer for the Chiefs?
For the Chiefs still.
For the Chiefs, yeah. Because Jalen Watson, drafted by the Chiefs, 99-yarder. There have been other returns on defense and everything that have happened, 99, 100, 102, things like that. But this is specifically an interception return since 1980, drafted by the Chiefs. It's a little more of a difficult one. The reason I ask how old you were is because, you would need to be at least in your 40s to remember when this guy played in the 90s.
I feel better for not knowing it. I have avoided the answer because I was trying to see if I could get it. But where are we?
No, we're right here.
If that guy walked in here right now and said, "Teach me how to golf,"
really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would throw a rock at you if that happened. If he walked in, I would throw a rock at you for not knowing who that was.
I'm sure that's a reference that would help somebody.
Man, that's hard.
I mean,
I'm thinking it's got to be one of those guys from the great 90s. That's what I was thinking. You telling me 90s defense.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
I'm gonna have to take a guess and a guess.
Just rock it. Just rock it. Rock away. Just rock away. Take a guess.
Rock away, huh?
Just rock it.
Wow. That doesn't help me. I'm gonna go ahead and say I know. Just go ahead and Dale Carter.
No, it's not. I thought Dale Carter would be the answer, the first one people would come up with. That might have been my first guess too. But damn it, that is incorrect. It is not Dale Carter. Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it.
I was not alive when he was playing in Kansas City.
Dale Carter?
No, the answer to this question. I mean, also Dale
Carter.
Carter. Yes. Also Dale Carter.
This guy was an awesome player, but man,
two more. Keep it moving.
I want to talk about plays that weren't made that you never ever forget. In Buffalo, AFC Championship game, Jim Kelly, right between the numbers to him, would have ran all the way. Would have continued running for the TD. Dropped.
Sounds like you're over it though, which is nice.
Not a big deal. Who's next, Beards?
Up next is Ronnie.
Ronnie, what's up, man? What side do you want to start with, sports or leisure?
Let's do what was it between spelling bee or fourth grade history?
Those are both on the board. Yeah, if you want to do either of those, if you're not feeling like Greek mythology, Marvel trivia, or the pun name game.
I want to go Marvel, but I don't trust that. Let's do spelling bee.
I can give you the Marvel one that's not quite that I think I would have got. If you're
I quit watching after Infinity War or the last Infinity War movie.
Did you make it through Age of Ultron?
I'm not caught up on the series. Yeah.
This is an Age of Ultron question. I'll give you this one.
Let's go with that. All right.
What phrase does Ultron often repeat in Avengers Age of Ultron that refers to a beloved Disney character? Frankly, a beloved Disney character's line. Or I guess referring to the character.
I sure would spelling bee.
Spell Ultron. Ultron is no longer what he once was. You could argue that he maybe has free will, making him much in line with a old school Disney
A real live
character.
boy. Is this a Pinocchio?
You can almost say well, that's interesting that Ultron has some things in common with Pinocchio. That's kind of interesting. What would he have said about that, do you think? Regarding the presence of controlling mechanisms on him. Not cords.
He's a puppet?
Not like cords, but like
Strings, pulling my strings.
yeah, it's like once there were like maybe he didn't think there were strings anymore because he was kind of free of that.
There are no more strings attached.
That's really so close that if I give it, I mean, it's basically, hey, Beards, you decide if that's a ding or an X. That's completely up to you. That is 98% of it. That's a win right there. There are no strings on me is what we were looking for. You got to Pinocchio.
Okay.
We're going to round that up to a winner.
Awesome. Well done.
How was that a Disney phrase, though? Or what Pinocchio said?
It was Pinocchio.
It was like the song lyric.
Connectivity. Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm not gonna argue with a good ref call. Don't worry about it.
That's right. We definitely a home field advantage for you on that one.
Whoa, you called it illegal contact? That was pass interference.
Keep it moving.
Serious?
It's a hold.
All right.
We'll go with Chief. Whatever Chiefs questions you got left, or Royals.
We don't have Royals questions, but we have Chiefs and Bills. We have some 99 touchdown one, whatever.
You're out of 49ers. We'll do Chiefs Bills. I started following like maybe around the Dave Craig era.
No, you know what? It'll be easy because all the Chiefs Bills are within the last decade or so.
All right.
Let's see. I kind of want to go with this one in the theme of today's show. You know, this running back and return man was a player drafted by the Bills, but the Chiefs took him a little too literal in that he was a return man. In the amount of times it seemed like they kept looking into bringing him back to the Chiefs.
The other Sammy Watkins, CJ Spiller.
Yes. Nice job. CJ Spiller is correct. Well done. That's a winner, right?
Yes, that's a win. Yes. There are no strings on.
I'm gonna admit, I feel a little dirty about this one, but I'll take it.
You know what? Hey, wash the taste out of your mouth at Johnny's.
Yeah.
So
You'll stop feeling dirty as soon as you get some Espinachos.
That's right. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. 913-381-1080 is the
Charles.
phone number. Charles, I believe, is Charles the last contestant today?
Yes.
Okay, Charles is the last contestant. Charles, you're in charge. What side do you want to start with, bud? Sports or leisure? Sorry about that. I'm sure
I've never heard that.
I know. Sorry. I feel like you should have said thank you, Mr. Anderson. Also, never heard that one. My bad, Charles. What's up?
No, you're good. Let's do U.S. history.
Okay, fourth grade U.S. history. Some of these are real layups. You got in at a good time. Who's best known for inventing the telephone?
Alexander Graham Bell.
Boom.
That was Benjamin Franklin, the greatest president ever.
That's what I was worried about.
For sure it was that guy. On to the sports side, sir. We got Chiefs Bills. We've got 99 touchdowns, and we've got NFL and college football.
Let's do some general NFL.
General NFL for you. All right. Travis Kelce, the fourth tight end in NFL history with 4 receiving touchdowns in a game. Which tight end holds the record for most TDs in a game as a tight end? That would make sense. Which tight end holds the record for most touchdowns in a game as a quarterback?
That would be tough.
As a tight end. Not currently playing.
This person has more than 4.
He had 5 in a game, not currently playing, and there is a local tie.
A local tie.
Not currently playing. Hasn't played for a while.
Local tie. Tony Gonzalez.
Nope. Oof. That is incorrect. Damn it, Charles. Sorry, man. I appreciate you playing, though, man. 913. Well, there's the phone number is 9, but we got to take a break. All right, real quick. The questions, answers. That was Kellen Winslow. Went to Mizzou.
Okay.
So Kellen Winslow there went to Mizzou. The 99-yard interception return for the Chiefs was Kevin Ross. Kevin Ross, nicknamed The Rock. Kevin Ross was the guy that we were looking for earlier. I think that's it for questions I did not get answers to.
Yep, we've gotten answers across my board. We've got one Marvel question that makes that category alive one week longer. We'll see.
All right, we'll take a timeout. More zone next.
Take the show with you by listening live on 810WHB.com, in the 810 mobile app, or by subscribing to The Zone wherever you get your podcasts. You're in the zone with Jason Anderson.
Is this really Jason Anderson?
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I wrap up the show here on this Thursday. Sprint Petro, the program, comes up next. Don't forget, we're hanging out here at Total Performance Golf in Overland Park. Awesome spot. 7320 West 162nd in Overland Park, just south of 159th and Metcalf. Learning to play golf, perfecting your swing, wanting to become even better at a higher level. Total Performance Golf is the spot for you. And if you're looking for a golf coach, they've got the 3D lesson app that you can take your golf coach anywhere you go. You don't even have to live here and get the golfing coaching from John Richmond. So awesome stuff here. The simulators, the data tracking, the Foresight GC quads that are here as well, and access to the gym, which can help you become a stronger golfer.
Had fun out here, like a great time out here today. So if you are in the area, swing on through. Pun very much intended this time.
Oh, about time. You said no pun intended to a lot of different puns, and I felt like you intended every one of them.
I teed that one up for you. I do it. Bang!
WHB Kansas City.